with the murder of the director and his wife. Jonathan Vigliotti reports they were found in their Brentwood home.
According to police, both victims appeared to have stab wounds. The motive here is still unknown. Nick Reiner was last seen with his father at an event on Saturday. What exactly transpired between that time and 3:40 p.m. is part of this ongoing investigation.
Nick Reiner is being held on $4 million bail. Investigators working on the Brown University shooting over the weekend have released more video of a suspect. CBS's Anna Schechter reports they're also questioning a second person after the first was released.
They are talking to another person. However, we don't know if they have the right person. They don't want what happened yesterday to happen again. They're trying not to publicize too much.
Leading Jewish groups in the U.S. are urging Jewish organizations to ratchet up security at public events following the weekend's mass shooting at a Hanukkah celebration on a beach in Australia. 15 people were killed. Jonathan Greenblatt of the Anti-Defamation League.
It is inhumane that people are identified by the way they worship or where they're from and singled out for violence. So we need leaders to lead. That means when incitement happens, it needs to be shut down immediately, not sort of played off or dismissed as just political rhetoric.
President Trump is sounding cautiously optimistic about a deal to end Russia's war in Ukraine. Stacey Lynn has that.
President Trump says progress has been made.
I think we're closer now than we have been ever.
He says he's spoken at length with Ukrainian President Zelensky and a host of European leaders, as well as Russian President Putin.
Russia wants to get it ended. The problem is they'll want to get it ended, and then all of a sudden they won't, and Ukraine will want to get it ended, and all of a sudden they won't.
He said they're working on security guarantees so the war doesn't start up again. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
Soap star Anthony Geary has died. He was best known for playing Luke Spencer on General Hospital. His character's wedding to Laura Weber in 1981 captivated millions of viewers. It was the most watched episode of a soap opera in American TV history. Gary won a record 8 daytime Emmys for Outstanding Lead Actor. On Wall Street, stocks finished mixed. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Coming up, the very latest on a levee breach in Tukwila, coming up after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, it is busy out there, as you can imagine, but traffic is barely moving this afternoon through the Tukwila, Kent, Des Moines, Renton areas due to a variety of reasons, highway closures, flash flooding warnings, and this is sending drivers seeking higher ground, and most of the major routes in those areas are packed this afternoon. This report is brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. Add to that, both directions of State Route 167 remain closed this afternoon from South 212th to 15th Avenue near the Outlet Mall. No estimated time to reopen this. The West Valley Highway is closed briefly. It's South 180th right next to the Green River there. You'll catch a little break, and then it's shut down again at State Route 516 down to Emerald Downs. South 5 through Tukwila, we're bumper to bumper from the Blowing Access Road all the way to 516. Seattle to Federal Way, an hour 35-minute commute. South 405 is packed from the Renton Landing through South Center. North 405, though, is cleared out. Federal Way to Seattle has cleared out. We're down to a half hour. You're all clear till you hit the north end of Boeing Field. And the Hood Canal Bridge is closed this afternoon due to high winds. No estimated time to reopen. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing and guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, continuing coverage.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granello. Crews say they quickly got the water stopped after a levee breach along the Green River. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay reports.
They had their eyes on the levee along Todd Road in Tukwila last week. They did repair work on it Friday, and they were on scene inspecting it moments before it failed.
It's not typical to have these levees have this much water behind them for this long.
John Taylor, director of King County's Department of Natural Resources and Parks, says they'll be monitoring a number of levees around the clock, many of which have been damaged over the past week and will need repairs when things calm down. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey at the scene of that levee breach in Tukwila.
Let me describe the break in the levee here, which is not like an impact point. The river is to my right, and it's flowing kind of, alongside the levee. So I don't know what caused it exactly, but it's like someone cut a cake perfectly in two places and just carved out the middle. It's almost like a perfect rectangle.
A dump truck full of dirt is on scene right now, filling that hole. National Weather Service in Seattle issued the flash flood warning for the area. Meteorologist Reed Wilcott says it'll remain in effect until 9 o'clock tonight.
This is just one small event. There is a regional event that has been going on for more than a week at this point, and we expect more impacts across the Pacific Northwest over the coming days.
That includes gusty conditions. A wind advisory remains in effect until 10 tonight, then tomorrow afternoon again starting at 4. Prepare for power outages. Meantime, people facing Green River flooding in Auburn, you may have to wait until the weekend for relief. KIRO News Radio meteorologist Ted Beener.
Snow levels coming down, which is really good news. That'll cut off the runoff from the mountains as it turns to snow in higher elevations. But at the same time, we've got Howard Hansen Dam that's been filling up as well. So they're having to release some waters.
Road closures likely will be with us throughout the week in Auburn. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Again, the wind advisory in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. We still have more rain on the way as well. Right now looking at 59 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
I mean, are we just like bored, spoiled children who've just been lying in the bathtub all day, just playing with their plastic duck, and now they're just thinking, well, what can I do? Okay, yes. We're bored. We're all bored now.
Yes, a little dinner with Andre there with Wallace Stevens and Andre Gregory. We're bored. Are we all bored now? Huh? I ask you, Aaron, are we?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Here we go, everybody. Let's get ready. A lot of news. A lot of bad news, a lot of news. Just diving into it. Dive in. There we go. Alrighty. Joe has told me that you can take all the news that's happened over the weekend and condense it down to just 2 pages with a staple. Why a staple?
Because it keeps the news together.
No, because we're high class.
Oh, yes.
We spare no expense here. Let's see. I'm going to let this guy speak for himself, but just you don't understand where you are in life, but you see how other people's lives, you compare yourself to those lives, and then all of a sudden you get a greater purpose in life. Plus, Steve Hickey, Photox Steve's going to stop by, tell us what's happening at Green River levees. I was part of a satanic ritual in Vegas. That's not hard to believe. Plus, also, some additional music up to why to make it sound like we're doing radio here. There we go. How the guys get the guns there in Australia? I thought you can't get guns in Australia. And a Chinese billionaire is basically paying surrogates to have as many male children as he possibly can in the United States. Only boys. And then why he's doing that. Rise stops by to talk about Old Man River. Did well on Sunday. And yeah, not bad at all. And his Mr. Rivers' response during the press conference, I thought was quite a powerful moment. There's one little sentence that he happened to share. More on the floods, what's happening with that, and I wish the media would do a better job of not hesitating to ask questions. All right, but more than that, I love stories like David Babora has. David joins us on the line now. You might remember that name if you were a Seahawks fan. David, I'm going to go back. I tried to find the actual cut of it. So the Seahawks playing Washington Commanders. Was it a punt coverage or was it a kickoff coverage?
Yeah, it was a punt coverage. It was my final play in the NFL.
Right, final play. Go down, your arm, I think it's your elbow hit. And as you described it, the elbow hits down on the ground, and you could actually hear all the damage being done to your shoulder. They come out, they inject you with something. It seems like something they do to a racehorse. and then they take you off the field. Do you remember going into the locker room thinking that's probably the end of my NFL career?
No chance. You know, I look, at the end of the day, you go to war every Sunday and you battle. And I, you know, my mindset was going to die on an NFL field if necessary. You know, so there's no backup plan. There's no second chances. There's no what ifs. It's just full commitment. And so, you know, for me, there was the beginning of a really, really awful rock bottom. You know, it started with prescription pain meds, led to me just coping, which was the question I couldn't answer was, who's David without football?
Right.
And that was a crazy identity crisis. Yet, although I went through a drug detox and lost 34 pounds and, you know, was in a terrible, terrible state, it actually qualified me and clarified for me that football was no longer true north, which was scary because it was all I knew. But at the same time, it was like, oh man, like the universe, God has something else out there for me. And it began this process that's led me into the most meaningful work of my life.
Scale of 1 to 10, how tough guy like yourself thinking, well, football is the only place I'm going to be. Where were you about feeling sorry for yourself when you started to realize, okay, that's done on a 1 to 10, 10 being, you know, to the point of suicide?
Yeah, so great question. Thank you for asking it, and I'll be bold, man. You know, I was at a 10. You know, for me, if I couldn't do what I loved and all that I knew, who am I?
Right.
And what am I worth? You know, and that's a scary, scary reality. I think, you know, for me, the drugs had taken their hold, and in times of withdrawal, actually, at one point, I forgot Christmas because I was so high. My girlfriend at the time, I tried to make up for it by booking this trip to Hawaii. And when we were out there, I ran out of the pills that I needed and ended up in withdrawal. And I don't really recall a lot of this, but I climbed onto the 20th floor balcony and I was going to throw myself off. And she brought me down. And that woman is my wife. It's been my wife for the last 13 years. We have 3 beautiful kids. And
David,
she said, I'm not going to let you do this.
What did she say to you on the balcony?
You know, I can't quote it exactly because everything's real blurry because I was in such a desperate state. But she basically said, I'm not going to let you do this. You have more to offer. You know, there's a way forward, even though you can't see it. And I went through that drug detox. Like I said, I lost 34 pounds in 7 days. I was puking and shitting all over myself.
Yep.
Talk about an ugly bottom. But in fact, it was priming the pumps for the more significant stuff in my life. And it actually was a qualifying factor for many of those veterans that I serve today that have endured different addictions based around, you know, the medical need of opiates and then, you know, them becoming addicted to them.
You know, you mentioned God, so I'll ask this question. Did God bring you Travis Mills into your life?
Sure did, man. Yeah. To talk about a chance encounter, you know, I for me, it was like the weight room was always the sanctuary. It was the ability to take hard work and achieve more with moderate talent. And I was training athletes for the combine, for the NFL, Olympic athletes, elite athletes. And one day I met a guy without arms and legs, staff sergeant of the U.S. Army that got blown up and lost all 4 limbs. And I walked right up to him and I said, when was the last time you worked out? And he said, man, I don't want to make you feel like an asshole. What do you mean? I don't have arms and legs. And I said, look, I understand that it looks different, but, you know, we have to continue to keep competing and pushing ourselves. And he was like, oh, you have experience. And I'd never met a single amputee. And so from there, the birth of my not-for-profit, the Adaptive Training Foundation, was born because I realized there was a serious need post-rehabilitation for those that served and sacrificed and people who've experienced trauma, whether it's a car accident, right, or a traumatic or disease or whatever it is. We are the what's next question or answer to the question.
Yeah, a couple of things that you had said that really stuck out to me. I watched a bunch of podcasts and stuff. We suffer for a purpose. You said
I mean, look, you preach for your pain. I mean, at the end of the day, there's this thing that I love. It's my favorite type of art. It's called kintsugi, which is the Japanese art that when a household product like a bowl or a plate breaks, instead of it being discarded as trash, it's glued back together, but the cracks are filled with gold. And now it has more of a story, right? Those scars tell the story of what it's overcame, and it's all the more special. And I think in our own human experience, if we could embody kintsugi, right, whether you see the scars or not, you are the amalgamation of those things that wanted to hurt you, wanted to harm you, the pain that you didn't wish on anybody, but somehow it was handed to you. But those are the qualifying factors rather than the disqualifying side.
Yeah, David, I'll throw one more for you. You can add this to your list of things you say to people. So when you show somebody the scar is not where you were injured. The scar shows where you were healed.
Ooh, all right, I'm stealing that.
You got it, baby.
Good.
That's yours, baby. You can take it. The work that you're doing now, another thing that I had kind of captured from something you had said is that these veterans or people that had lost arms and legs for whatever, car accident, whatever, motorcycle accidents and stuff, that they found community with you. What you did is you created a sense of community for them so that what did that community give them that they didn't have prior to finding a community?
Yeah, it's hope, man. It's hope. Hope is a priceless currency. In fact, my favorite definition of leader is by a guy that you don't quote publicly too often. His name's Napoleon Bonaparte. But he once said that a leader is a dealer of hope. Think about that, man. Hope is a priceless currency. Like water, we will die without hope. And so to have a sense of belonging, to have a place where I can come and be accepted. Again, it's the islands of misfit toys. It's this idea that those scars are the qualifiers. And so in our gym, there's a box on the floor, white tape, athletic tape, taped off. It says sympathy box. It says your excuses are invalid. Because sympathy and pity, victim does nothing for anyone, right?
Yeah.
I don't care if you're an NFL running back or you're a guy without arms and legs. It's about reframing the narrative, right? Focusing on what you can do, not what you can't do. And the empowerment that comes from being a part of a tribe, right? A tribe is a ohana. It's a chosen family, right? The human condition is largely synonymous with difficulty, pain, and suffering. But that doesn't mean that it has to feel like that. You can find levity. Like one of my favorite things about this gym, not only is the shit talking between the military branches, which is hilarious.
Yes.
But it's also like one day someone may hide somebody's prosthetic leg in the ice machine, right? And they're like, well, where's my leg? Where's my leg? I don't know where your leg is, man. You figure it out, dude. I didn't lose my leg. You put an air tag on that thing. And eventually it's like, oh, my gosh, you guys are killing me. Like you literally put it on ice. And that's the type of like humor heals. And if we can laugh at ourselves and celebrate each other, we're in good community.
Yeah, I remember interviewing this guy. I forget who he was, and I asked him about, you lost your legs. He goes, I didn't lose my legs. I know where they are. And then he went on to talk about other things. I guess the thing is, whenever you lose anything, this is why you're on, David. Not only am I inspired by the work you're doing specifically, but the idea of loss, whether it's a loss of a leg, loss of a career. Okay, you sort of face it. Okay, I lost that, right? So then you find the next thing. You've got to find that next thing. And that's hard for people if they stay in the loss column as opposed to, okay, so what, now what, right? The rearview mirror, You look back and it's over. But where does one find the strength to then say, okay, this has been my loss, whatever it is, right? And then where's the energy come from to get out of the victim mentality, woe is me, and then into the idea, well, I still have more years on this earth.
Yeah, no, beautifully said. I think there's a Rumi quote which says, every storm runs out of rain. Mm-hmm. And I think if we can recognize that everything is temporary, right? Like that we can't put a permanent solution to a temporal situation. We need to be able to recognize that things pass like waves. And it's okay to celebrate the amazing ones, and it's okay not to like the really, really hard ones, but we have to let them pass through, right? Acceptance, the ability to recognize that this is just a chapter, not the whole book. That is the permission slip that in community with other people that have dealt with other things, that is the golden grist, man. It's the permission slip that gives those people to go, man, this person told me, or I've seen this person actually live out this in a way that recognizes that it's all temporal. And again, loss is something that is really interesting because, look, we're on the spinning ball of chaos together. We don't make it out alive, and we take nothing with us. Mm-hmm. And yet we cling to things so hard in this world, and therefore we suffer. If we can allow those things to pass through us, and we can, again, I don't want to go too ultra Buddhist here, but equanimity is real, man. Like, if you can recognize that it's neither good or bad, it's just your story around it, you can kind of drop into the seat of the soul, which is the witness that is like, okay, like, again, somebody cut me off in traffic this afternoon. Like, and in Texas, where I live, right, you got to be careful, bro, because somebody will pull out an AK on you real quick. But somebody cut me off in traffic, and I was fired up about it. And I realized for the 2, 3, 4 minutes that I was spun up, I was like, I felt my physical body tensed up and holding and tight. And I realized, like, wait a second, that person's, they are not thinking about this at all. They've already driven off, and they're relaxed, and they're doing their thing. Why is it that I'm developing this thing that could catapult or compound into other things that's going to negatively affect the next thing in my life, right? If we can be present moment, then we need to be able to let go of these things.
Yeah, have you ever seen David Foster Wallace's speech about water?
Yes.
All right.
I like water.
Yes. Okay. I can tell you've done a lot of reading. You mentioned Remy, you mentioned Buddhism and stuff. Here's an NFL guy who he went to, where'd you go? Iowa? Idaho? Where'd you go to college?
Idaho, baby, the Vandals.
Okay. Were you reading much Eastern philosophy back then?
No, bro. You couldn't get me to read a stop sign back in Idaho, man. Are you kidding me? This is all later in life. And to the kids out there, they're like, I don't even like reading. Dude, start diving into books. The nature of how the pendulum swings is real, right?
Yeah.
And throughout life, you'll see this thing come full circle. And, especially once you have kids. That's going to come forefront in your consciousness. So, the cool part for me is, my kids have grown up around this work that I've done at the gym for the last 11 years. They ask for wheelchair Barbie, or they'll rip Barbie's leg off so she's an amputee, like one of their friends at the gym. Yeah. But what's really cool is my kids, whether it's a homeless person on the streets or an amputee in the airport, they'll walk up to that person, look them in their eyes, and say, can you tell me your story?
Yeah.
And again, like, if you treat people broken, they act broken. If you look somebody in their eyes, you treat them whole, right? Everyone has a story, and the quickest way between two people is a story. And so kids, although they stare, they have this acute curiosity for the story. Yeah. And I think that if we can share our story as proof that we're going beyond it, right? We can self-actualize what's happened to us and understand that the adversity, or again, the pain of it, has an innate purpose.
Yes.
In this life.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden we find what's for us rather than what's against us.
Man, oh man, I'd love to spend an hour talking to you, but I don't have that. By the way, I love the fact you say when you get to heaven, you'll tell everybody I gave it everything I have, I got nothing left. When you get up there, you need to apologize to St. Peter for cursing on the show 4 times, okay?
Yeah, sorry, guys. There's a lot of colorful language inside of my gym.
Yes, I know.
You can imagine, especially with all the Marines, right?
Oh,
The only bad word is can't, but there's a lot of colorful language, so sorry, Peter.
That's all right. Yes, a good apology.
You have to bleep those out, or
right.
maybe a little pause and delay.
I'm going to, David Vibora, I got to tell you something. Hopefully you've inspired somebody today that's hearing this about understanding pain, finding community, and then just not ever, 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 ever giving up. Thanks, David, for your time. I so much appreciate it.
Man, it's an honor. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. Let's check in there with traffic. Nate, check your traffic. Nate on.
Yes, sir. This report brought to us by the Emerald Queen Casino. North of Seattle and Bellevue, you're doing good all the way up to Everett this afternoon. And then south of Federal Way down to Olympia, light volumes. That's probably because everyone is stuck heading through the Renton, Tukwila, and Kent areas. Seattle to Federal Way is going to take you an hour, 40 minutes. That's a 1 hour delay. You're bumper to bumper from the south end of Boeing Field all the way to 516. Right there, you're going to break free. South 405 is packed from North 30th to I-5. Bellevue to South Center just hit 1 hour. Through Des Moines, southbound 509 is packed from State Route 518 by the airport all the way into downtown Des Moines. Westbound 18 is packed approaching Covington all the way down to Auburn Black Diamond Road. Add to this, State Route 167 remains blocked between Kent and Auburn. The ultimate tribute to rock, Hairball, comes to the Emerald Queen Casino April 2nd. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Hairball, April 2nd, only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, if you're one of those people that's got a bad hip or shoulder, or how many times once a week to use the word bone on bone to describe your knees, and you're thinking about getting surgery, before you schedule that, schedule this. This Wednesday at 6 o'clock, Dr. Mark Wagner, the man, the doctor himself, the guy that's done more than 20,000 stem cell procedures, will be online for you to answer any questions you may have. drmarkwagnermd.com. That's where you sign up, drmarkwagnermd.com. I'll try to get on the call as well. It's at 6 o'clock on Wednesday with Dr. Wagner, and he's going to talk about stem cell therapy and explain how the whole thing works and how your own stem cells regenerate and help you. So maybe for you, surgery is not going to be the answer, and stem cells could be the answer. But I'm sure you got lots and lots of questions. So Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, will be there for you to answer them. And I'll go on there and maybe talk about how great my hip feels, because I went in there about 9 weeks ago. It's amazing. Absolutely the best. So it's Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Sign up if you want to learn more about stem cell procedures. drmarkwagnermd.com.
After a close call against the Colts.
Jason Myers with his 6th field goal of the day.
Never a doubt, right? Talking about picking each other up, just being there when we need them.
The Hawks gear up for the biggest game of the season. The game that will likely determine who wins the division.
Holy catfish!
Seahawks, Rams, Thursday night at Lumen Field. Kickoff at 5:15.
This should be fun.
On KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Looking for high-quality assisted living that won't drain your life savings? At Care Partners Living, we offer compassionate care at a price that helps stretch and preserve your estate. No unnecessary luxury, just the support you need with dignity and heart. And if you ever need to convert to Medicaid, you don't have to move. With communities across Washington and Arizona, including new locations in Port Orchard, Sumner, Mercer Island, and North Creek Bothell, there's a Care Partners community near you. Care Partners Living, compassionate care and peace of mind. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Yep, it's raining out there. Integrity Roofing and Construction is your trusted local roofing team. Integrity offers free estimates, and their customer satisfaction speaks for itself. They'll keep your home leak-free and protected from the northwest rains. Visit integrityrc.com to schedule a roof assessment or video inspection today. With years of experience in roofing and restoration, their skilled team can help with a simple roof repair or a full renovation. Don't wait until the next storm hits. Schedule your free estimate today. Visit integrityrc.com. That's integrityrc.com.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A few businesses saw floodwaters enter their parking lot today in Tukwila when a levee breached along the Green River. King County Executive Gurmai Zahalai.
Although this was sudden and caused widespread concern, fortunately no one was injured.
He says King County crews moved fast to contain that flood. John Taylor is the director of King County Natural Resources and Parks and says they'd done some repairs on that levee just last Friday and were inspecting it today when it failed.
We are monitoring a number of areas on all of the levees right now where we know there could be issues, and we're going to try to stay ahead of it so we don't have breaches.
He says those levees along the Green River are not designed to hold back this much water for this long. National Weather Service in Seattle has issued a flash flood warning for the area until 9 o'clock tonight. KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Nick Allard says that does not happen around here very often.
It is fairly rare for at least our area. I've been forecasting here for 22 years, and it's pretty unusual to see a levee break.
U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is now reducing water flow from the Howard Hansen Dam to ease flooding along the Green River. Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus explains to the Jake and Spike Show why they have to release any water at all.
It's to reduce the water behind the dam so that there is no failure of the dam, which would be even more of a catastrophe.
Now to Skagit County, where a brief weekend reprieve from all the rain did little for flood victims. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports.
Skagit County now under a flood watch through Thursday. Here in Burlington, Rico and his family are ready to leave again like they had to last week when the Skagit River flooded the Gages Slough and dozens of homes.
We actually did evacuate on Friday, but then we came back on Saturday.
In the background, you can hear crews pumping water from the Gages Slough to get ready for more rain. In Burlington, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Takes us to 3:33, and we head over to Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, plan on a good half-hour delay if you're traveling through Tukwila this afternoon, particularly southbound. Seattle to Federal Way, an hour, 40 minutes. That's a 1-hour delay. You're bumper to bumper from the south end of Boeing Field all the way down to State Route 516. Just volume. There's nothing blocking here. South 405 is now packed from Northeast 44th there near the VMAC down to I-5. So Bellevue to South Center just hit 1 hour. North 5 is actually looking good. Federal Way to Seattle, 25 minutes. You're all clear until you hit about the north end of Boeing Field. Westbound 18, you're packed from Covington down to Auburn Black Diamond Road. Again, just heavy volumes here. State Route 167 is blocked between Kent and Auburn. That is been going off and on for a couple days now. And also Highway 2 in Index closed a couple hours ago. That's milepost 35. Trees and debris across all lanes. Add to this, we still have that 50-mile closure between Skycomish and Leavenworth. No estimated time to reopen either of these closures. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Aside from the flood warnings, we also have wind advisories now in effect. They are going to stay in effect until 10 o'clock tonight, gusting upwards of 45 to 50 miles per hour all around western Washington, and then another wind advisory tomorrow starting at 4 p.m. Right now, 60 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
I believe Home Comfort Alliance, when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs, there's only one place to call. When it comes to comfort, it's Home Comfort Alliance.com. Try to time it for the bum.
Nicely done.
All right. Well, good job on the dump button there.
Thank you. I aged about 10 years that last segment.
Yes. Wow. I know Photog Steve at Photog Steve 81 will not be dropping any F-bombs on you. I don't know how this guy gets the energy because he spent the entire weekend or most of the weekend in a helicopter flying over the floods. He then got as much video as he possibly could and really is your man on the ground when it comes to anything involving crime. People always want to, are there more than one Photog Steve 81? Because whenever there seems to be a cop or a fire truck, or in this case, anybody that's dealing with the levees breaking, Photog Steve, you're everywhere.
Yeah, it's been one of those times where you kind of get prepped for it for years, and here we are. So thankfully I'm local, and I know all the back roads, because all the main roads are pretty much closed right now.
Yeah, so what were you seeing over the weekend? Were you spending some time airborne?
Yeah, so I wanted to see it not just from drones. You know, drones are great, but you don't really get the scale and gravity of it until you get up and can see it through your own eyes. And so we went through Whatcom, King, and Snohomish County, and the thing that concerned me the most was the amount of flow still coming this way. Just a little bit ago, I heard you guys talk about the Howard Hanson Dam. They have been able to slow that, but they can't shut it down. Just shutting it down could create a ripple effect in the structure itself. Same thing with Mud Mountain. So people start getting comfortable seeing the sun come out. And it's not really the rainfall that's doing this at this point. It's the water coming from way up the hill so that those infrastructures don't fracture.
Yeah, and I think there's been a number of requests for evacuation in some areas. Originally it was Tukwila, Renton, and Kent. I think have they tightened that up a little bit now?
Yeah, so think about it. For those who know that area, there's that Home Depot and Costco industrial area. So it's basically 180th south on the river side of West Valley Highway. So West Valley Highway is closed, and so really it's businesses affected. This one's not homes, but the concern with this break is if this break continues and water flow increases, it could erode farther upstream even more. And so there have been a couple other locations they're monitoring also in the Tukwila area to make sure that they don't get any worse.
So at this point, it's just sort of a wait and see. There's really nothing that any of the people that are involved in, other than trying to keep everybody safe, this water just has to recede. Are there other things in play that we're not aware of when it comes to mitigating the amount that's in there?
FEMA has been activated. They've been on the ground since Friday. I'm with the FEMA crews out here at this levee breach right now. So there's about 75 people trying to get this one patched up. The concern beyond that is, 167 is still closed. They've got other highways going south that if an evacuation happens, you want to be ahead of the curve because your main points of driving out of there are not available right now. So even if you don't have a go now order, keep up to speed on what the traffic conditions are, what highways are closed. So if you do have to leave in somewhat of a panic, you don't have to then figure out which way you're even going to go because your GPS may not be up to date on closures at that time.
You monitor all this stuff. Where do you think the best place for people to go to get this information? Is there one particular website that you like over others that gives you the most up-to-minute, instructions and information?
Yeah, one of the best ones is if you look up King County Disaster Management, they have a great site. You can Google King County Disaster Management. It will then take you to it. And you put all the updates on there. You also put in your email, so that way you're getting those as they send them out. And it's kcemergency.com.
Okay, look at Joe's writing that one down. Yeah, because so often people, I'll go to some government website and it won't be up or it'll give me old information. But it's nice to see that they're on top of all of this. Hey, while I have you on the line, can I switch topics just for a moment? Because you have been covering, you've been covering all the stuff happening down in the CD. You cover shootings and just about everywhere. Let's talk about the city of Seattle for a moment. So, and you don't have any news yet on what Katie Wilson's going to be doing with the new police, responses on things. Have you noticed, because you've been following this for years and years, what have you seen change in certain crime areas and what's improved? Give us some positive news if you can, Photog Steve 81.
Yeah, so there is some good numbers out there. I think we'll knock out a couple of things that are concerning. Gang violence continues to escalate. There's a lot more active gangs out here than I think the public really knows about, as STD doesn't really publish a lot of that. They don't even call their team, gang violence team anymore, or gang reduction team. They're now the GVRU, Gun Violence Reduction Unit. Those things are very concerning. However, at a top level, let's look at the numbers. Homicides are way down. That does seem to come from better prosecutions and a lot of the COVID backlogs on DNA, taking people out of the system that are creating multiple shootings or multiple homicides. So that's where I think some of these numbers have shifted down, but we're down below 50% of the homicides we had last year. And last year was one of our highest years ever. So we're getting the big stuff out. I think when you get down to the lower level stuff, which doesn't hit the news but can affect our lives, auto thefts, simple assaults, those numbers have stayed the same or increased, but the big stuff has gotten better.
Yeah, I think the last number I saw on homicides, I think Seattle was at 23 or maybe 26. I didn't get the update on how many, but yeah, of course, the high in homicides in 2021, 2022, right? We were at 54, whatever the number was, but you're saying we're cutting in half. And do you notice the police? Because it's the weirdest thing. I follow you all the time on Instagram. You seem to be there before the police show up, or the police are showing up, and you get a general sense when you cover this stuff, Photog Steve 81, is that there's not enough cops. Like, that they'll go somewhere, there'll be 5 cars, right? There's 5 cars there, but while that's happening, you're all of a sudden at another shooting somewhere, and the cops are nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Not because they don't want to go there, you just don't have the manpower.
Yeah, once it hits a certain point, especially at night on the graveyard shifts, they go to priority-only calls. So you can handle 1 or 2 priority calls. And priority is typically going to involve a life threat, a threat of life. So that could be a domestic violence with a weapon, all the way up to shots have actually been fired out on the street. Once they hit those, everybody gets booked on that. And then if they keep happening, you're going to see that response reduce. I've seen it now in Pierce County as well. One positive with SPD, their recruiting is way up so much that they're short now on FTOs, which are field training officers. So they've kind of got a new bottleneck they have to deal with. But they also don't have enough cars for everybody. Same thing that Pierce County is dealing with, where there's this bottleneck on getting cars to actual law enforcement out in the field. It's like anything else. You think of it as a supply chain. And so when you're short on something, you can't just get more of that, because where are you going to get it from? And you keep having these ripples. It can take you years to fix a supply chain, and that's really where they're at now. They may have bodies, but they don't have FTOs, and they still don't have cars.
Okay. Listen, I'll let you get back to covering the floods, and thanks a lot for the update on the best website to go to there at King County. We appreciate it. Photog Steve 81, keep up the good work. I'll be the guy constantly scrolling over your stuff, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, there he goes. All right, we got a little bit of everything on that one. Let's go back to Nate, tracking traffic. Nathan.
All right, John, over in Cougar Mountain, we've got a new collision westbound 900 just prior to May Valley Road. It's blocking that single southbound lane. Traffic alternating. You're backed up almost to Newport Way there in Issaquah. Good news up at Highway 2 and Index. Traffic is now alternating through a single lane at milepost 35. We were closed for a couple hours due to trees and debris over the highway. Highway 2, however, still remains closed between Skycomish and Leavenworth. Seattle to Federal Way, an hour, 40-minute commute this afternoon. It's bumper to bumper from the south end of Boeing Field all the way down to 516. South 405, you're packed from the VMAC to I-5. Bellevue to South Center is inched up a bit to an hour, 5 minutes. Westbound 18 is packed between Covington and Auburn Black Diamond Road. That's a 6 to 7 mile backup. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate Connors. All right, I'm going to give you a horrible scenario here. Let's say cold weather comes in, sets in, it's going to be with us for a while. All of a sudden you wake up in the morning and you notice, boy, the house is much colder than I expected. Then you go down, you look at the thermostat and it's blinking, it's off. And then you try to turn it on, it's not coming on because, well, your heating and cooling systems have failed. Maybe it was 10 or 11 or 12 years old and it's given up the ghost because it's been running continuously because it's been cold for 5 or 6 days. You know the story, right? So what do? Well, then at that point, you probably go online, you start Googling around thinking, okay, who do I have to come in who's going to fix this thing? Because most people don't have somebody that does heating, cooling, and electric right there at their fingertips. So let's do it now. Let's put this at your fingertips. Let's make sure it's Home Comfort Alliance. And I can tell you from a personal experience when they came to our house in Sammamish and helped us out, and they came out to the barn as well, absolutely the best customer service you'll find anywhere. These guys know exactly what they're doing, extremely respectful of your home, and they love to be able to help you out. So have them ready to go. God forbid you need them, especially if the systems break down. But it's Home Comfort Alliance. That's homecomfortalliance.com.
when extreme weather hits Western Washington.
A flash flood warning after a critical levee breaks along.
KIRO Newsradio is the first place you turn.
We have team coverage this morning.
Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Which communities are hit hardest?
Skagit River again going to flood to major levels.
What it means for your commute.
Northbound 167 underwater.
MyNorthwest.com and KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. And the KIRO News Radio app.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Make this the last holiday season in that old kitchen. Hi, this is Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Our solid wood refacing system delivers a luxurious new kitchen way easier and less expensive than a tear-out. You won't believe the difference. Heritage Homecraft's specialty is custom cabinet refacing and quartz countertops. With Heritage Homecraft, custom means built from scratch just for you. Our own craftsmen, not subcontractors, will reface your existing cabinet boxes with 1/4-inch thick solid hardwood and add new custom-built solid hardwood doors. We can make design changes, add cabinets, install custom features, and top it all off with a brand new quartz countertop. With the holidays here, I know everyone's busy, but if you order your new Heritage Homecraft kitchen now for select install dates after the new year, I'll give you 12% off the entire project. Hey, all year long and especially next holiday season, you'll be delighted that you did. Call today, Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Quiet down. Here she comes. Shh. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Hey, it's John Curley. If you're having joint pain, this will interest you. This Wednesday night at 6, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen really good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country, with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go pain-free in 2026. Join his free live stem cell webinar this Wednesday night at 6. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey, it's Brock Hewitt here, and you got to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It could save you a lot of money and get your family better coverage. First Mark has saved my family thousands of dollars every year. Take the First Mark Challenge. It's totally free. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Come back from Vegas. How many days can you stand in Vegas until you feel like it's really unhealthy for you?
48 hours.
In and out of there,
Yeah.
baby. Yeah. Everybody on the plane on the way back, everyone looks like they had done 48 hours in Vegas. It was packed plane.
Everyone's all excited on the plane there, and then on the way back.
They're like, I'm worn out. I met a nice couple there in Section 11. Can you believe they had me back in coach? What the hell's happening in this world? I know.
Lord.
The tickets coming back were crazy. No, the tickets are crazy price. I said, do you guys go to the Zach Brown? I went to the Zach Brown concert. They said that they don't go to concerts anywhere else other than the Sphere because they've been ruined by the Sphere there in Vegas. And if you're not aware of it, or if you are aware of it, it's just giant ball that is near you go through the Venetian to get to it. And it is both a visual and audio experience like you have never had anywhere else in your life. I bet you anything within about 5 or 10 years, you're going to see more of these things being built. Because it does completely reorient how you experience music. You went there you saw the Grateful Dead, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
A couple of times.
Okay, yeah. They went for the same thing, and it's a different set every time. So I went because I'm a big Zach Brown fan. Went there to see Zach Brown, and people said, this demonic thing. It's a little fire thing in the very beginning because he's talking about his life as a kid. He really opens up and talks about what it's like. His stepfather was beating him. So that's kind of the beginning of it. So it's no demonic stuff. It's just the hell that he went through as a kid.
Right.
That's it. But then you go on then play all the Zach Brown songs. Well, Nick's dancing in the seat, and there's people kind of giving her the stink eye. And it's the weirdest experience because people were just sitting. So Nick's like, I'm not sitting for this.
Nobody's dancing.
No one. Everyone's sitting there.
Oh, there's a couple.
But everyone's sitting down like they're at the DMV waiting to renew their driver's license. It's so strange. I'm like, Nick, get up. She's like, don't tell me to get up.
You said security came and told you.
Well, no, then when colder weather came on, we're singing this.
Yeah.
So we went down to the front when there's a metal bar, the cage in front of us. I'm like, we're getting this. We go down there and we're singing, and Zach Brown I think he could see us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're here we go. And security comes by and they're like, you need to return back to your seats. So we're like, okay. So we go back to our seats and we waited till security left and we're like, let's go back. Go back down. We're like, woo!
Did you sing it full volume?
Oh, yeah, we were with them. The people next to me are like, whatever. Maybe we were in a different mental state than everybody else. I don't know.
Good.
Yeah, we were jamming. Said I want to see you again. Okay, take it down. I'll sing the whole song. If you're a Zach Brown fan, not only is it his music, but he also just tells you about his whole life. There's a bunch of voiceovers that he does, in between songs. And they change clothes and stuff, and they get back up there. But, man, he talks about some stuff that, I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know all that stuff was going on. And it's really personal. You get a better idea. But to the bigger picture of seeing stuff at the Sphere, so I think he's doing, I don't know how many shows there. And then he leaves, and other groups come back. The Eagles were there. Grateful Dead's been there. But it is, it's wild. There's one point where the screen is going up, so it gives you the optical illusion that you're falling forward.
Yeah.
That's really weird. And then all of a sudden, you feel as if you're tipping over. Like, I don't have a seatbelt in my chair.
Yep.
And then you tip over, and then you fall into the video. If you're just watching the video, it's crazy.
It is mind-blowing. And it sounds incredible, too.
Oh, my
right?
God. You can't tell where the sound's coming from.
No, it's coming. And literally, I think there's even sound in your seat.
I don't know what it is. It's the sound of that person sitting behind us going, could you guys sit down? No, we're not sitting down. It's a concert.
Yeah, that's the only annoying part.
What?
If you're up top, the people that just sit, because you get vertigo almost. Some people stand up and they're like, oh man, I gotta sit back down.
Yeah.
You got to try the floor next time.
We're going on the floor next time for that one. All right, let's go to Nate over there checking traffic for us, Nate.
All right, Highway 2 and Index traffic is now alternating through a single lane at milepost 35. It was closed for a couple hours. Highway 2 is still closed, though, between Skycomish and Leavenworth. Seattle to Federal Way is an hour, 40-minute trip. You're bumper to bumper now from Mid-Boeing Field to State Route 516. Southbound 405 packed from the VMAC to I-5. Bellevue to South Center is a 1-hour drive. Westbound 18 remains heavy from Covington all the way down past Auburn Black Diamond Road. That's a 7-mile backup. All these backups are just heavy volume. There are no blocking issues, but the culprit here is our flash flood warning in the Green River Valley, and the closure of State Route 167 has not only added detours in those routes, but we're dealing with jam-packed roadways through all of the areas of Tukwila, Kent, the Des Moines area. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, if you're going to do some Christmas shopping for your loved ones, I'm going to recommend this. Wouldn't it be the greatest gift to give your family and friends, you, around for a lot longer? The answer should be yes, right? Okay, good. And you want to be able to extend your life. And you think, well, I take pretty good care of myself. I try to eat right and exercise every once in a while. But are you aware of what's happening as you are aging, like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer? Most doctors are responding to those problems. But can you imagine working with a doctor is actually able to see the early indicators of something like that happening? Because we're all getting older, but is it possible to slow down or retard the age process, the growing feelings of loss of energy, fogginess in the brain, all that sort of stuff? Well, that's where Longevity Medical Clinic for 25 years has been proactive. Rather than reactive, proactive. Look for early signs of things that could take you out of the game or just generally make you feel horrible. And they are working to, again, slow them down or reverse them. You want to find out more? Take the free health analysis. This is a big Christmas present for everybody. Take the free health analysis at longevitymedicalclinic.com, longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
We're taking a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to transportation in the year 2025. We're going to start things off with the good, like projects that actually finished, or maybe light rail going where it's supposed to, things like that. Tuesday morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Your local credit union, WSECU, believes in making a difference. That's why they're recognizing Washington's community champions, everyday people who strengthen the fabric of our communities. Steve Rabel here with WSECU board member Marcus Glasper, and it's time to announce our next community champion.
Our community champion this week is Matthew Ballantyne in Lacey. Matthew builds beds for children in need through his organization, Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Thank you, Matthew, for providing more kids the benefits of a good night's sleep.
How about a New Year's resolution where the commitment takes just one day and the results can last a lifetime? Address years of hair loss like I did with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment. Using your own natural hair, Advanced Hair can restore your bald spot, receding hairline, or thinning. All backed by Advanced Hair's guarantee. Celebrate the new year with a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
The Pacific Northwest is the perfect backdrop for the holiday season. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law reminds us that the roadways don't always agree.
It's that combination of additional travel, changes in routine, and winter weather that make this the most dangerous time of the year to be behind the wheel.
Any safety tips to help commuters keep the holidays joyful?
The number one cause of accidents remains distracted driving, even during the holidays. So store that cell phone in a place that eliminates temptation. It's imperative we set the example for our teens. Also, be aware of abrupt changes in the weather and prepare for it. Sometimes it's as simple as allowing additional distance for following or stopping. Lastly, make sure your vehicle is properly maintained for winter.
That includes four-wheel drive and chains when required at the pass. Please follow these safety precautions from my good friends at Pendergast Law and keep you and your neighbors safe this holiday season.
Happy holidays from all of us at Pendergast Law.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
So Pure Talk just had their best year ever and asked me if I'd like to thank their customers on their behalf for being so awesome. I said sure. It's important to say thanks, especially this time of year, which is why, as one of their many satisfied customers, I should probably thank Pure Talk first. for keeping their customer service in this country and for providing hundreds of American jobs. I appreciate that. I also appreciate their Roundup program, which makes it easy to support America's Warrior Partnership and join the fight against veteran suicide. And I love that Pure Talk donated 1,000 hand-sewn Made in America flags to veterans around Independence Day. And of course, I really appreciate their generous support of my own foundation, MicroWorks, and their commitment to help us train the next generation of skilled workers. Having said all that, it's now my pleasure, on behalf of everyone at Pure Talk, to thank you sincerely for choosing to do business with an American wireless company that actually stands for something. And one more thing. Merry Christmas.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Get a quote today at Progressive.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
After discovery of Rob and Michelle Reiner's bodies, their son Nick,
he was subsequently booked for murder.
Brown University shooter still on the loose.
Reward of $50,000.
4 arrested in alleged California terror plan.
Plotting New Year's Eve bombings.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Jennifer Kuiper. An arrest is made in the deaths of director and actor Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle, who were found dead in their home yesterday. Los Angeles Police Chief Jim McDonnell.
They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case.
Nick Reiner is now being held without bail.
He had spoken publicly about his struggles with substance abuse and homelessness.
This place is like a prison. It's not even close.
Father and son collaborated on a film about those experiences, Being Charlie, with Nick co-writing and Rob directing. He discussed it on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
What happened was it forced me to see really what he had been going through. And I think it forced him to see what I had experienced and what his mother had experienced.
That's CBS News Los Angeles' Dina Demetrius reporting. Fellow filmmaker Ron Howard calls Reiner a superlative filmmaker, a supportive colleague, and at all times a dedicated citizen. President Trump reinforcing some of what he wrote in a social media post.
I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country.
Former President Obama writes that beneath all of the stories he produced was a deep belief in the goodness of people. CBS News has learned that there is a new person of interest in the shooting at Brown University that has left 2 students dead and 9 others injured. This is an unidentified individual seen in a series of videos and not an actual person in custody or a specifically identified individual. The investigation has fully moved away from the person wrongly identified as a person of interest yesterday. Providence Chief of Police Oscar Perez.
Investigations, they turn and lead you in a different direction. We might have used all our energies in the first few days to investigate something, and here we are now heading back to that same place to continue to investigate.
The FBI is offering a $50,000 reward leading to the arrest and conviction of the shooter. Feds say they've thwarted a planned New Year's Eve attack targeting the Los Angeles area. CBS's Scott McFarlane has more.
According to the FBI, this group they've arrested is the Turtle Island Liberation Front, an anti-government, anti-capitalist group that was testing would-be bombs in the Mojave Desert on Friday, bombs they planned on using allegedly New Year's Eve to detonate outside of major commercial areas in California.
Stocks slipped on Wall Street today. The Dow closed down 41 points. The Nasdaq fell 138. S&P 500 closed down 11 points. Now this.
Through trusted relationships and national reach, CVS Health is uniquely positioned to simplify care. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
Coming up, the latest on a rare flash flood warning issued in Tukwila. But first, Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Well, good news. We're slowly reopening a few of our earlier closures. Again, Highway 2 through Index. We are now alternating through a lane there. In the Hood Canal Bridge, just reopened after a 4.5-hour closure due to earlier high winds. So we can check those off the list. Seattle to Everett, Bellevue to Everett are one of the few commutes looking pretty good this afternoon, both taking about 50 minutes. South 5 into Seattle looking good. You're slow from the U District in the downtown. Both lake bridges are wide open. It's once you get south of Seattle where things get really dicey. Seattle to Federal Way, an hour 50 minutes as this drive time continues to climb. You're bumper to bumper from Mid-Boeing Field all the way to down to State Route 516. South 405 is packed from the VMAC to I-5, Bellevue to South Center, right around an hour. Southbound 509 is packed from the airport all the way into downtown Des Moines. And these are backups caused from the flash flood warning through the Green River Valley and also the closure of State Route 167. This is adding to big backups in those areas. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo. It was quite a scare this afternoon when a levee failed in Tukwila. We get the latest from KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Crews were already on scene inspecting the levee along Todd Road when it failed. They were able to get the water stopped quickly. They'd just done some repair work on it last week. But John Taylor, director of King County's Department of Natural Resources and Parks, says there is more work to be done.
A lot of the levees have been damaged during this event and are going to need repairs when conditions allow.
He says the levees are not designed to hold back this much water for this long. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
KIRO 7 TV's El Thomas says a flash flood warning is still in effect near that levee breach.
It's only for the far southeast corner of the city in that really industrial area that's south of 180th near West Valley Highway. So important to note here, there is no current evacuation order in place for residential areas or the general commercial district in and around South Center Mall.
But the flooding risk along the Green River will likely last through this week, says meteorologist Morgan Palmer at KIRO 7.
The water level continues to rise, and it's not that far away from the record high reading on the river.
Now, beyond the floodwaters, forecasters are now worried about strong winds. Reed Wolcott is with the National Weather Service and says he's expecting 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts.
That does not sound like a lot for us here in the Pacific Northwest. We deal with that all the time, but our soils are not normally this saturated. We have a very high risk of trees coming down onto vehicles, onto houses across the region.
Wind advisory in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. We could finally start to see some relief from all this flooding starting in the mountains on Wednesday. Meteorologist Kirby Cook says it's going to be cold enough for snow up there at that time.
So the snow levels will drop below the past levels, and that means a lot of the heavier precipitation that's falling will fall as snow, and that stays out of the rivers, which is a good thing.
Hey, your weather update now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Right now we're seeing cloudy skies, again windy weather as well, and still some rain to get through here tonight. Right now looking at 60 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hi, you've reached the John Curley Show.
Oh, good.
Listener introduction line.
This will help
Please
us
tell us a little bit about yourself and why you enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do we need to keep
The
doing?
tower of power, too sweet to be sour. I'm funky like a monkey. Sky's the limit and space is the place.
Get all that, write all that down. That'll help us. Diving into the Show. 1-888-973-5476. All are welcome. And those of you on the YouTube there, you YouTubers, here's a piece of paper. Make sure I don't need this. Let's see if that counts. Because they love, you guys can talk to each other now. Oh my God, I finally hit it.
Bullseye.
And my computer went down. And it's been back up. Finally got it. That's good start.
Nice aim.
Yeah, about that. Finally got around. Been practicing. All right, you YouTubers, feel free to talk amongst yourselves. I found this interesting story. You know, remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, but 2014, it was like, oh, the jihadists need to have people come and fight in Syria. What country, here's the trivia question, which country had the biggest per capita contributors to foreign jihadists fighting with the ISIS? Which country? Let's see. Per capita, which one? Who sent the most number of fighters to be involved in this jihad? I wonder what. Oh, it's Australia. Oh, they have been warned for years and years and years. Ooh, you got a problem here because this is when you globalize the intifada. this is what happened. So, but of course, everybody knows at this point about the tragedy, the horrible, just completely animal mutilation of human beings, where these two individuals are on this little sort of bridge with rifles, just shooting anyone they could see moving. Of the thousands of people that were there at Bondi Beach, they just thought, well, we'll stand here and for 20 minutes just shoot, reload, and then continue to shoot, taking lives of children, to older individuals. One of their victims had survived the Holocaust but couldn't survive what was happening in his own homeland of Australia.
For years, Australia has been held up as a model for preventing mass shootings. Sunday's attack has challenged that. The horrific violence against Sydney's Jewish community and crowds at Bondi Beach on Sunday, the worst mass shooting in Australia since 1996.
Just gunshots. But let's just talk about what's been happening in Australia. Not about the mass shootings, but they had, let's see, arson attacks on synagogues and preschools and Jewish institutions. Jewish homes and cars were vandalized with anti-Semitic messages. This has been going on for about a year now. In fact, there were more annual incidences now, 5 times more than prior to October 7th. And then also when protesters decided to shut down traffic at Sydney Harbour Bridge, the Labour Minister Anthony Albanese recognized the Palestinian state. So when you have people screaming and yelling about globalizing the intifada, well, this is what you get. So you get these two people, father, son. The son was investigated in 2019 because they thought he was getting radicalized, and then they said, nothing to fear here. So then the question always gets, well, let's finish with their story about the mass shooting.
When 35 people were killed by a lone gunman at Port Arthur in Tasmania. That attack prompted the centre-right government of the time to enact some of the world's strictest gun laws. Rates of gun violence plummeted. A multi-million-dollar buyback scheme was put in place, with a short amnesty period before guns were made illegal, except under licence with strict conditions. But the guns turned on children, families and the elderly as they celebrated Hanukkah on Sunday were owned legally. A 50-year-old suspect killed at the scene held permits to 6 long-barrelled guns. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese now says that one response to this tragedy must be to tighten gun laws.
Yeah, that's right. Tighten the gun laws. Yeah, because that's the problem. The problem is you have people that hate Jews and are willing to kill Jews indiscriminately. It's not a gun problem. It is an ISIS problem. It is a radicalized population in the Muslim community that wants to kill Jews. That's it. That's it. It's not about the guns. How do you get a gun in Australia? You apply saying you need it. I'm a sports shooter. Then you get a thing called an SSAA. And then the reasons you want to be a sports shooter. You could be a recreational hunter. You have to show that you have a letter from somebody that says, yes, you can come onto my property and hunt. You have to show absolute need for firearms. Like, for instance, you have a farm and you're constantly having the farm overrun by, wild pigs. Then you have an absolute need. So you have an occupational shooter. That is, you have a job. Maybe you're an exterminator and you need to kill rats or pigeons. You can get it for that. And the third one is you're a collector, but the gun must be inoperative. So however these guys got these guns, if they said, well, we're a sports shooter, we get the guns, then you get the guns. So it really has, and this call for, well, we need to tighten the people that are getting guns. No, what you need to do is get the people that have said they want to globalize the intifada. You take those people and you kick them out of your country, and you shut it down. And you don't give them any space anywhere in order to spread any of it. Send them back to wherever they want to go. I'm sure there won't be any Jews for them to find to kill there, but you get them out of your country. The UK is dealing with it now, and France is dealing with this stuff. Australia has it as well. And it's amazing how completely tone deaf the leaders are in Australia, saying, oh, it's a gun problem.
Further.
The government is prepared to take whatever action is necessary. Included in that is the need for tougher gun laws.
That's it.
The Australian government has shown it can legislate to curb gun violence. People here in Bondi are demanding an end to anti-Semitism along with it. Angus Watson, CNN, at Sydney's Bondi Beach.
Yeah. You're not going to outlaw anti-Semitism? It was really interesting. After World War II in 1946, the place where the Nazis could go and actually be celebrated were 2 Muslim countries. And if you talk to and you read and you research, basically we did a really good job of eradicating and breaking up the ideology of Nazism. Certainly, it wouldn't. Germany, if you ever spend time in Germany, they squash it at every turn they can possibly get. The scars are still so real for them. And in the United States, same sort of thing. You bring all the Nazi sympathizers, you bring the folks to the Nuremberg trials, and you hang them or whatever you need to do to get rid of them. You just get rid of it. But it exists. It's still celebrated. And still it holds a place in certain parts of the Muslim world where they seem to have no problem with the idea that, if we could get rid of the Jews, we'd all be in a much better place. We will wait to see about the son. He is alive. The father dies. And the other criticism is that it looked like the police, this is what they're saying, for 20 minutes the shooting went on and the police were sort of frozen and didn't respond right away. So unfortunately, that's the story out of Australia, whether or not they really get in there and do something about the big problem, which is not the guns. Good for you. You took them away. People. But here's the other weird thing. If good guy with a gun, you think somebody would be able to fire off the number of rounds they fired off in 20 minutes? You think if maybe the public was armed, would they have been able to shoot one of those guys? I think it was a cop that finally took out the father, right?
I don't even think it was a cop.
Who shot the dad?
Oh, I don't know who shot the dad. I thought you meant the guy that disarmed.
That guy. Yeah, coming up behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah, showing great restraint. Now, again, that guy was a Muslim, sure, but was he also a Muslim that believed that Jews need to be eradicated? Was he somebody that, spreading, globalizing the Intifada? Was he one of those? Probably not, I'm assuming. Saw what was happening, ran down, grabbed the guy from behind, got the gun. I think that guy was also shot. I don't know who shot him.
Shot twice.
So he must have been shot by the father. Yeah. So he ended up in the hospital. Sad, horrible story. They don't know if there's any connection between that and what happened at Brown University. They still haven't really made any connections for that shooting. And the other weird part about that is Chuck Schumer goes on, and just bad optics on this one, Chuck. Senator Chuck Schumer opening a press conference. He's going to talk about anti-Semitic attacks there in Australia, and he starts with...
And, of course, I'm going to say a few words about the terrible shooting in Sydney, Australia. Okay? So, and first, of course, as I always say, no matter what, go Bills. They beat the Patriots today. It's a big deal.
Okay. You don't understand that one? We do that one. Yeah, wow. Maybe because it's so far away. And maybe because there aren't many voters in Australia for him. Fox reports about the FBI stopping a number of planned terrorist attacks.
The FBI now reports that it's disrupted a planned New Year's Eve terror attack in Los Angeles. 4 suspects in custody. The FBI identifying them as members of a pro-Palestine extremist group. They're suspected of planning coordinated IED attacks targeting 5 different locations in Los Angeles. But based on the reporting now, that plot has been foiled. We will wait for more out of L.A. or out of Washington, D.C. for what the FBI has to say about that developing story.
And France has also canceled a bunch of outdoor events. They have a big concert that takes place on New Year's Eve. They've canceled that because they're afraid of threats. And then I think the UK, Germany has also canceled a number of Christmas celebrations for fear of the same sort of thing. So I guess they're now on high alert because you do have a small group of people, unfortunately, that feel as if, well, in order for Sharia law, in order for the caliphate and all of it, everything to come back together, and we need to be able to get this land because this land used to be our land, and now the infidels are there. We got to drive the infidels out, and then we'll be able to take over, and then we'll have Sharia law and peace for everybody. And it happens when you globalize the intifada. And this is what you have. And this is what we've experienced and will continue to experience until the entire world gets up and says, you can't continue to spread this type of horror by killing Jews. And I don't understand why you don't have more leaders. I guess the part of the problem is that they don't want to, and I get this, it's really tight because if you come out and you say, well, it's not really about guns, it's about a primitive view of the world that a group of people hold, then all of a sudden you'll get people responding on the right, going and burning down mosques or, going in and terrorizing. So they have to watch it really carefully. So they don't want to do anything to incite. But at the same time, when you put a lid on a pot, it builds pressure underneath. You're better off addressing the problem as what the problem is, as opposed to trying to gaslight people, because nothing makes people more upset than when you're just not honest with it. You got to give them the news, say, this is the group, we think this is the group, we want to eradicate this way of thinking, and we need to address that. But nobody wants to do that because they're thinking, well, by even we put the lid on the pot, and then they think, well, if we take it off and we actually, call a spade and say that there's a number of terror cells in the Muslim communities that want to see the annihilation and of Jews, well, then they think that somehow all this vigilante stuff will percolate to the surface, and then we'll have all this violence. So what they do is they lie to the people and they tell them, oh, no, that's not the problem, the same thing. Or they change the language. If you go to the UK, they call them groomer gangs. Well, they weren't grooming necessarily. They were raping. And they had been going on for years and years and years. And when people try to bring it to people's attention, they said, oh, that you're Islamic phobia, or you hate this or hate that group, and then therefore you're a horrible person. I said, no, you have a group of people that refuse to assimilate to our culture. They are here and they don't want to adjust to our culture, and where they come from, it's okay to rape women, because in their culture that's fine. You could pull them off the street and you could rape them if you want, because that's what we have, and we're here now in your culture. It's a problem for for European nations, and until they address it realistically and honestly with their people, then you will have people that are on the right. I saw some guy yesterday online. He's there in England, and he's calling for, we need to do something. This is where it gets really bad. We need to do something because the elected officials are not protecting us. So now you get into, that's when everything breaks down. Right now we're not a land of laws, but just might will make right. And if you continue to lie to people in order to, in a way, try to create peace, you will eventually deal with a much bigger problem. So again, for Europe, whether it's France or Germany or in England, which is a serious problem with this. And I saw when Douglas Murray said that when you import the third world, you get third world values or third world culture. And sometimes it doesn't mix well. And that's what I think we are seeing, unfortunately, throughout the world. And it's not about being, Islamophobic to say, but if you see polls taken in Islamic countries, and are they at all sympathetic, or do they have any place that Jews should be existing? Unfortunately, the majority of those surveyed in these Islamic countries want nothing to do with Jews and would like to see them eradicated. So luckily for us in the United States, now, of course, the FBI shutting one down, and they thought there was a terrorist attack that could have happened in New York. They see one in L.A., and they're well aware of the online chatter, as they say.
And now you know the rest of the story.
It's bad news. Something light, Joe. Football?
Yeah.
Rye roller?
Sure.
Okay. All right. By the way, Steve Rabel, that's the first time I ever heard him get mad at the officials. Did you hear it?
No.
Did you listen to the game?
No, not his call.
Why, did you hear it,
I
Rabel?
did not know. I missed it.
Oh, my God. He had lost his patience. There was a number of calls, and Rye wrote to me, man, Steve is hot.
Wow, Steve still got it, huh?
Yeah, well, he doesn't normally take after the officials. He doesn't really, win some, lose some, but he was like, what is going on in this game? Now, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, South 5 through Seattle slows from the U District into downtown. A little slowing up there in Linwood, not heavy at all. In fact, all added up, it's just a 15-minute drive from Linwood to Seattle. South 405 looks great as well in the north end. You're all clear from Alderwood into Bellevue. A little crowding in Bellevue through Factoria, and then it gets thick from the VMAC all the way to I-5 in South Center. The further south you go, the slower you go. Bellevue to South Center is up to an hour and 10-minute drive. Seattle to Federal Way, hour 50 City. It's bumper to bumper now from the north end of Boeing Field, the State Route 516. Westbound 18, you're packed heading into Covington all the way into Auburn, a 7-mile backup there. Southbound 99 is packed through SeaTac, beginning at State Route 518 down to South 188th. Southbound 509 is packed from South 160th there by the airport all the way into downtown Des Moines. These are all ripple effects from our Valley Freeway closure and sporadic road closures throughout Tukwila, Kent, and Renton in that flood zone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Make an appointment on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. If you are one of these people that's suffering from pain, arthritis, and stuff like that, shoulders and elbows, wrist, knee, anywhere. If you ever used the term bone on bone, then you need to make sure that you are online watching Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, on Wednesday at 6 o'clock. Why? Because Dr. Mark Wagner is the guy. He's the guy that knows all about stem cell procedures because he's done more than 20,000 of these. Athletes in the area and around the country come to see Dr. Mark Wagner because, again, he's the man. I can tell you from personal experience, I went in there for a 90-minute office procedure to have my hip done and to get stem cells in there. It's been 9 weeks now. I feel great. I'm running again. Thank you, Dr. Mark Wagner, for that. So if you've got questions and you're hearing, well, you need to go under the knife, you need to have an operation on your shoulder or your wrist, your elbow or your knee or your hip, hold up, make an appointment this Wednesday at 6 o'clock and have all your questions answered about a stem cell procedure. Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, drmarkwagnermd.com.
When extreme weather hits Western Washington,
a flash flood warning after a critical levee breaks along.
KIRO News Radio is the first place you turn.
We have team coverage this morning.
Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Which communities are hit hardest?
Skagit River again going to flood to major levels.
What it means for your commute.
Northbound 167 underwater.
MyNorthwest.com and KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM and the KIRO News Radio app.
Is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for honest pricing, expert service, and guaranteed repairs. This dedication has earned them a Carfax Preferred designation. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, and a full service history, all at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit Bucky's.com today and drive with confidence. Bucky's.com.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
The Northwest's trusted news source.
We're learning that it was two brothers who were fatally shot in Lacey.
KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more.
More than 140,000 fentanyl pills and powder were seized.
Experienced voices you trust.
A fierce budget fight is coming down to the wire.
Coverage you can depend on.
King County's $20 billion budget.
KIRO News Radio on 97.3 FM, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. King County work crews are right now plugging up a damaged levee along the Green River in Tukwila. It breached today, causing a flash flood warning in the Aurelia area near the West Valley Highway in South 180th. KIRO 7 TV's Brandon Thompson is there.
Crews have several of these bags to try to stint the flow, and that's not all they have. 2 more dump trucks worth of those bags that they're going to put down here to make sure that it is as fortified as it can be. The repairs have been going on with these giant sacks of dirt and sand as the hope is to plug this hole.
County says it has been monitoring that levee since the weekend. John Taylor is director of King County Natural Resources and Parks.
This is an area that we have been watching. We were concerned about it. We did some repairs on it on Friday, and we had crews looking at it today when the breach occurred. We were able to respond very swiftly.
Says other levees will need repairs when things do calm down. Upstream, flood control efforts continue at the Howard Hansen Dam, where engineers have slowed water releases to protect that structure and reduce downstream risk on the river.
So the Green River concerns for us at the moment aren't as significant as they may have been.
That is Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus telling the Jake and Spike Show conditions can change quickly. A Yakima lawmaker says this month's flooding highlights the need for better water infrastructure. Washington Republican State Representative Chris Corey spoke with the Jason Ranch Show on Seattle Red 770.
If we are going to start getting more atmospheric rivers like this and more flooding, we need to make sure that we have better dam and levee infrastructures in place so we can keep this water and use it, especially if our snowpack's going to continue to go down.
This storm system is expected to continue through Wednesday, but beyond the flood risk, a wind advisory is also in effect today and tomorrow. Meteorologist Kirby Cook.
We're looking at gusts up to 45 miles an hour. Tomorrow night may be a little windier, and we've got our eye on that.
You'll want to prepare, he says, for power outages. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:32. Here's Nate Connors.
All righty, coming into Seattle from the north end looks good. In fact, that trip from Linwood to Seattle will take you just 15 minutes. Same story on the east side. South 405 is all clear from Alderwood into Bellevue. Right around the VMAC is where South 405, you're going to hit the brakes and you're riding them all the way down to I-5 and there in South Center. Bellevue to South Center is an hour and 10-minute drive. Bellevue and Seattle to Everett are looking good at both 50 minutes. Seattle to Federal Way, it's an hour 50. It's bumper to bumper now from the north end of Boeing Field all the way down to State Route 516. Just volume here. Westbound 18, that is packed from Covington into Auburn, a 7-mile bumper to bumper backup here. Southbound 99, scattered backups now between SeaTac Airport into Federal Way. Southbound 509 is packed from South 160th by the airport all the way into downtown Des Moines. Again, these are all ripple effect backups from our Valley Freeway closure and and off and on road closures throughout the Tukwila, Kent, and Renton flood zone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
You have flood warnings south of Seattle and also it's like east of Everett, also in parts of Whatcom County, some flood warnings in effect. And that wind advisory also taking hold right now, in effect until 10 o'clock tonight. Kicks back in, though, at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Right now, looking at 59 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
KIRO 7 TV's Pinpoint Alert Days. It's your advance notice to stay safe. When weather threatens to damage and disrupt your daily life, KIRO 7 sounds the alarm, preparing you days in advance. Stay informed, stay prepared with KIRO 7 Pinpoint Alert Days, only on KIRO 7 News.
Thank you, Joe. Well said, well read. Try to throw you off there, a little bit of music coming in. But no, you're a pro. 100%. Professional. Look it up in the book. Bucky's Auto Service Centers. Did I mention them yet? They've got 16 locations, been around for 50 years. Take the kids there, especially celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah there at Bucky's Auto Service Centers. Go on in there and have a good time. Let's see, truncated version of Rye coming on.
Talking Sports with Rye.
Yes, there he is. Rye Rolla, my man. Seahawks, 18-16 against the Colts. Not exactly the most exciting game when it comes to
anything.
Yeah.
I think I probably set the record for dumbest sports take ever. When I said Phillip Rivers could throw for 300 yards in that game, it became apparent very quickly that was not even their intent or possible if it had been their intent.
I see. Let's see. What was he couldn't throw for 300, or just the defense wouldn't allow him, or a 44-year-old man didn't have the arm?
I think a big part of it is the 44-year-old man. I think the other big part of it is that he got there on Monday. So you got 1 week, which is really just 3 days of practice. And the Colts, now going into this game, we only talked about Phillip Rivers because, of course, that's the big story.
Right.
But I think it was apparent that the real story of the game was going to be number 28 and number 26, not number 17. It was going to be Jonathan Taylor and Amir Abdullah. That was the game plan for the Colts. They did is it Kenny Chesney? They took the ball.
Yes.
Why would you do that? Well, because they were basically playing like keep away. Their game plan was like, we're going to possess this ball, right? We're going to dominate field position. We are going to run. They have one of the best, I think the best true, like, pure running backs in the league with Jonathan Taylor. And then Abdullah was a good complement off of that. And they got a lot of leaky yards. I think the Seahawks up front rotationally bringing in some of those defensive linemen. Riley Moss made his NFL debut yesterday. That was ugly for him. He was just getting washed out of his gap on like every single rep. So they sort of beat us up on the line of scrimmage and played keep away. And we were able to possess the ball, kick a couple field goals. Our field position was terrible throughout the first half, and go along with bad play calling and a lack of running the ball. We couldn't do anything on offense. We were able to flip the switch a little bit. But I really appreciated in the year 2025, the Colts coming in and going like, we're going to play this like an Army, Navy, like Air Force kind of game.
Yeah.
Like and we have to lean into that because our quarterback is 44 and he can't move and he can hardly throw.
Yeah. You know, you would think the Seahawks were aware that might have been their plan and adjusted to it in any way. But there's really, if you can't stop the run, you just can't stop the run. And then your strategy for the game works.
Yeah, I think we assumed it would be maybe a more watered down version, but what they came out with definitely shocked McDonald, and I think it shocked the members of our defense as well. They were like, okay, wow, this is how they're going to play this. They're not running anything deep. I don't even think they complete maybe one pass over 15 yards. Like, it was wild. You don't see football being played like that anymore, but they're a good enough team, and their offensive line was good enough to make it almost work. They almost pulled it off.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's a pretty fascinating game. And as far as Seattle's offense, the red zone is terrible, and it has been for a little while now. Third downs were awful. I think we set the record for lowest third down conversion percentage in a win this season, which just gives you some idea of like, man, we kind of got away with the skin of our teeth there. So, like I said, fascinating game. The X's and O's, the game within the game, and the chess match there was was nice to see. But Jason Myers deserves a lot of credit on this Monday evening.
Yeah, let me ask you. You text me halfway through the game or near the third quarter. Boy, Steve Rabel is mad.
Oh yeah, officiating. So I can't stand CBS. First of all, why is the game on CBS? We need to see the fish being thrown again for the billionth time. So they do a 3-man booth with whoever was doing that game. And we're not doing that. So what do? You pause the TV, you pull up Steve, you sync the TV up with Steve, and you mute the TV so Steve's calling the game.
There you go.
And he was pissed regarding the officiating late into the second quarter. I think there were a lot of no calls that Seattle weren't getting, which really stalled out one of our final drives going into half. And then the Colts were sort of getting – it just wasn't being called straight up, I think. Now, I don't ever talk about officiating because I don't think it's a good excuse. But, yeah, I mean, it was good to see Rabel sort of digging into the Homer vibe because he's usually not like that.
Yeah. So people should know that the NFL, after every game on Monday, they all get together. They review every single play. And so the team that is there, the 3 or 4 refs that are there, they go through them all, and apparently who's ever in charge of all of this sort of stuff looks at each one to assess, did you call it correctly? What did you miss? And if it's really egregious, they will fine them. But I was trying to see how often NFL officiating do they actually fine the officials. I can't find.
I don't think that's public data.
No, they won't tell you.
And by the way, the head of referee, this is just so funny. His name is Brian Butterworth. He's the guy. So I know that. I happen to know that as a fact, and it's kind of funny. Yeah, I don't think that the refs getting fined, I don't think that's public information. They are part-time employees, which I think is interesting as well. These people have real jobs. In fact, the crew chief, Adrian Hill, yesterday, first of all, his brother, I think, is the producer for the Men's Room, that radio show. And then also he's a aerospace engineer, and he's an NFL referee. Crazy.
Yeah.
But they don't. So they review all that stuff on Monday. Mike McDonald used to, or Mike says it sometimes. Pete always says it. He says, we'll send this stuff in. We'll ask for clarification on this call, but we never really get anything concrete. Yeah. So I think that's just a futile process that they go through.
What do you think Coach Mike McDonald should have said to the players? Here's what he did say. This is in the locker room after the win.
That's how you win right there, man. Tell you what, great football teams find a way to win games. All shapes and sizes.
What's that face for?
I love Mike. He's an introvert. He just is. I really don't think he has a whole lot of confidence in himself as an orator, getting up in front of 70 professional athletes and doing, the rah-rah, let's run through a wall kind of thing. That's not really his style. So he does these every week, and this one was pretty bad.
NFL.
He never really got over the hump of the speech.
All right, here's the rest.
Great football team, okay? Freaking all 3 phases, roster 1 through 70. All coaches did a great job of adjusting throughout the game. All 3 phases. Awesome job. The resiliency, man, the relentlessness, all the way to the last second. That's some high-powered stuff. Okay, that's what great teams do, all right? And, hey, look, and we're going to have games like that coming down the stretch, okay? They can come all shapes and sizes, okay? And all we got to do is just go to the next play and figure out a way to win. And that's what we did.
Lost.
Okay, that's what we freaking did. That's a great job.
What's that, right?
He's drowning. He's drowning. He's just having a hard time not repeating himself. But we've played a lot of games like that. So the first time he has given that speech, because we keep playing these weird games, we either blow teams out or play a game like that. And he's had to give that speech a couple times in the locker room. And it was kind of nice the first time, but this was just a carbon copy of the Falcons game. And it was a carbon copy of the the earlier game that we played this year. So, but they do edit those up, because I think Seahawks have the final cut there, and there's probably a lot of stuff that Mike doesn't want posted on Instagram.
Right.
So
okay.
Maybe we got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
All right. Hit the music for Rise. Quick prediction on Thursday. We're not going to be here on Thursday. We get the day off because the Seahawks are working.
Rams.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
No Devontae Adams. I think we win.
Wow.
I don't think they get us twice.
Whoa. Bold. Take it to the bank.
Small game Sam is the new nickname for Sam Darnold. December. I think we win 21-14.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take all the money that you were going to inherit from me. I'm putting it on Seahawks 21-14. All right?
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you.
You're going to be on.
That's good.
You're going to be on your own.
I co-sign that.
Okay.
I co-sign.
All right. Good.
Wow.
Co-sign that. Wow. Power take. All right. Thank you, Rye Roll. Appreciate it.
Of course.
You want to throw to Nate?
Let's go to Nate, the Big Above It Driving Does. Nathan.
All right. It is not pretty heading south of Seattle this afternoon as we deal with the continued closure of State Route 167 between South 212th and 15th Northwest there near the Outlet Mall. And then add to this, we have numerous road closures throughout our flood zone throughout the Tukwila, Kent, and Renton areas. So with that said, South 5 drivers, you're in a 12-mile bumper-to-bumper backup stretching from the Michigan Street all the way down to State Route 516. Seattle to Federal Way is down a bit, but still taking an hour and 40 minutes. That's a 1-hour delay. Bellevue to South Center, 1 hour. You're bumper to bumper from the VMAC down to I-5. Westbound 18 is packed from Covington into Auburn, a 7-mile backup there. But further east, westbound 18, you're packed from the Raging River up to Tiger Mountain Summit. And Tacoma to Olympia, a 55-minute drive. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
How about a simple New Year's resolution that is guaranteed to succeed? I'm talking about reversing hair loss. So the quick, easy, one-day hair loss solution from Advanced Hair begins to regrow your very own natural hair the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow. And world-class Dr. Alan Perungo and the top-rated team there at Advanced Hair, they have recently won for the second year in a row the 425 Business of the Year. They know exactly what they're doing there. You will be in great hands as you get your hair back. I tell you, it's 13 years ago, coming up 14 years ago. Went in there at simple one-day treatment, same sort of thing. Of course, I was like, oh, gosh, let me get my hair back. Guaranteed to grow. It's right there. Fuller head of hair for you. This is a New Year's resolution. You can achieve this one, and you can celebrate the new year with Advanced Hair. Get $250 off, 250 free hair graft. Just schedule your free consultation at 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com. That's 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Whether you're gifting, decorating, or treating yourself, Lowe's December deal drops are here to help you save more all month long. Get up to 50% off select holiday decor. Plus, get up to 45% off select tools and accessories. Shop new December deal drops every week this month and get so much more out of your holidays. Lowe's, we help, you save. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Quiet down, here she comes. Shh. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Smarter clean in half the time. Brought to you by Swiffer Power Mop. Tired of the mop and bucket struggle? The Swiffer Power Mop gives you a mop and bucket clean without all the extra work. It's an all-in-one cleaning tool that mops smarter, not harder. With built-in solution that breaks down dirt and grime, and a pad with over 300 scrubbing strips to absorb and lock sticky messes. It even gets into places a regular mop can't, and leaves your home smelling fresh for hours. Try the Swiffer Power Mop today. Love it or your money back. CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/investor day.
I'm here with my real estate guy, Wes Jones of sellwithwes.com. And Wes, the year's almost over. It's the holidays, but the spring is going to come fast.
That's right. There's not a lot of time left this year. But here's the thing. It takes a lot to get a home ready to sell if you truly want the maximum value for it. So I would encourage you, let's start the conversation now if you're planning to sell next year. We'll walk through my pre-inspection program. If there's any improvements that need to be made, I can help line up the contractors. And if needed, we have options to pay for it out of the proceeds from the sale of your home. The important thing is to have a game plan from repairs to staging, pricing strategy, and marketing. And we can help you get a jump start right now.
There's a reason I say if you want to sell for more, sell with Wes. So go to sellwithwes.com, find out the real value of your home with Wes's home value calculator, then give him a call, schedule an appointment. Sellwithwes.com. That's sellwithwes.com. It really just is a better way to sell your home.
Fall rains can expose hidden roof problems, and once water gets in, the damage only gets worse. Is your roof ready for the season? Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. At State Roofing and Exteriors, we repair and replace roofs with a quality you've trusted for decades. And yes, we also provide siding, windows, decks, and gutters to keep your entire home protected. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
What's your holiday tradition? It's G. Scott here. For me, it's gathering with loved ones around a meal that brings joy. For many families, that tradition feels out of reach. Next time you shop at Safeway, please donate to Nourishing Neighbors. Your gift provides groceries to families across Washington, giving them access to nutritious food and the dignity to shop like the rest of us and choose what's meaningful for their holiday table. Visit nourishingneighbors.com and donate at your Safeway checkout. That's nourishingneighbors.com.
Our Santa Loves a Smart Top event is here. Treat yourself to the best present of all, a hot tub from Olympic. Save up to $4,800 on your new tub with an amazing smart top for free. Ends Christmas Eve. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Let's go to a story about the Waymo. The woman finds a stranger in the car, in the trunk. People don't know how this person got in there because there's cameras all over the place.
Why the f*** are you in the trunk?
Hey, yo, with the F word. Huh? A necesito.
We beeped it.
Okay, I know, but still. Really?
That's why, man, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, I'm over here. Yeah, this won't let me out. This
Why are you in it?
Huh? They just put me in here.
Who put you in?
The
what?
The people.
Yeah, okay.
I'm late. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm saying. Just.
Yeah, the old, I don't know how I got in the trunk of the car routine. Yeah, okay, well, whatever. Never found, that's great, wow, great story.
Yeah.
We never find out anything about it, that's it.
Waymo has no answers. The cops did let him go, though. So.
Okay, and then Waymo self-driving cars are going to be hitting the streets in London in preparation for 2026. And then I looked up to see, who cares about the driverless taxis? I'm going to see about the flying car. So it's ALEF, I guess ELEF? I don't know. You can pre-order one. You'll be able to complete your configuration for the thing. It's going to cost about $300,000 or $299,999 expected price. Pre-order $150. Huh? $150? That's it?
That's got to be a typo.
That's for pre-order. Pre-order $150 for the general queue. Pre-order $1,500 for the priority queue. I guess to get you back in there.
That's the fee to get in line?
I don't know. Yeah, a self-driving car to be driven on the road and then just lifts up vertically and flies around. Man, this thing is beautiful. Oh, wow, look at that.
You are fascinated by the flying car.
Only because of growing up as a kid, we were constantly being told, here it comes, here it comes. You have a flying car. You go to the Museum of Flight, there was one there, but it just looks like a regular, fixed aircraft, but it's got a car kind of thing on the bottom. But when we were kids, it was like, where is it?
Like the Jets.
The Jetsons. Yes. Come up. Where's the flying car?
And are you a buyer on this thing?
There's another one I saw. It's not $300,000. It's $180,000, but the price will come down on that.
And that's like a drone, essentially, right?
That's a drone one.
Yeah, it's
flying around. But this thing looks like a James Bondy kind of thing.
Yes, it does.
I don't have the $300K for it. I don't know what the monthly on that would be.
Because
I want to fly around in that. Yes, I would have a flying car immediately because I might still want to be able to fly over the I-90 bridge when those trains are not carrying anybody, if they're even going to be carrying anybody, and do what I have to do to sort of quietly protest.
Water balloons.
Afternoon urine. Yep. They say that I think beginning of January, or somewhere in there, by April, I think, they said that the I-90 bridge will have the trains passing each other at 35 miles an hour on a floating bridge. Never been done before, maybe for a good reason.
I'm going to be on. Me and Kathy Balducci.
Oh, yes, that's right. She's
Claudia,
got more time on her hands. Let's see. Flash flood warnings. We're bringing you up to date on that. Plus, I just saw this the other day. There's a guy who ICE went to arrest, and the dogs bit him. Patty Murray comes out talking about who this guy is. This poor guy, just a father, just didn't deserve any of this. And then I saw that King 5 did a story on it. So I thought, wow, this seems interesting. ICE is just deporting or arresting somebody that really has no criminal history. Oh, look what I found. Here's Nate checking traffic. Nathan?
All righty. We've got a 12-mile bumper-to-bumper backup stretching from the Michigan Curve all the way down to State Route 516. Just volume here. Seattle to Federal Way is going to take you an hour and 40 minutes. That's a 1-hour delay. Bellevue to South Center, 1 hour. Your backup starts in South Bellevue. It doesn't get bad until you get near the VMAC, and then further south you go, it just gets thicker and thicker all the way down to I-5 in South Center. Southbound 99, we're looking at scattered backups from SeaTac Airport down to State Route 516. State Route 509 now has scattered backups from South Park all the way into downtown Des Moines. Westbound 18 is packed from Covington into Auburn. Tacoma to Olympia, we're pushing an hour. And Seattle and Bellevue up to Everett, 45 to 50-minute commutes. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Let's see. Let's assume that the cold weather comes rolling in here and your heater's working full blast, right, throughout the night, throughout the whole day because it's cold outside. And let's say that thing is 10 years or older. I got some good news, bad news. Here's good news. Yeah, life goes on. Here's the bad news. If it breaks down, and normally you're going to be, I don't know, let's say you're asleep, you wake up in the morning and you notice that it's on the fritz and the house is freezing cold. At this point, you've got a decision to make. Of course, you want your heat back, but who are you going to call? So you start Googling online because you haven't had to deal with this for a long time. But it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. I can tell you right now from personal experience, you don't need to panic. You don't need to go around try to search somebody and find out. You go to homecomfortalliance.com. You sort of put that little number back, put that little name back somewhere. Maybe it's on you don't want no bad karma. Put it on the refrigerator or put it in your phone, and you have Home Comfort Alliance ready to go. Because if it's a heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical need, easy for me to say, then it's Home Comfort Alliance to the rescue this winter. That's homecomfortalliance.com.
When extreme weather hits Western Washington,
a flash flood warning after a critical levee breaks along.
KIRO News Radio is the first place you turn.
We have team coverage this morning.
Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Which communities are hit hardest?
Skagit River again going to flood to major levels.
What it means for your commute.
Northbound 167 underwater.
MyNorthwest.com and KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. And the KIRO News Radio app.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education. And the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange, a permanent solution to distance, intermediate, and near vision problems. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless.
And because we've performed over 100,000 procedures and followed the outcomes, we have the experience to know if RLE is right for you.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. And let's get your vision feeling young again, permanently.
Go to K2VisionRLE.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO News Radio.
At your local credit union, WSECU, making a difference isn't just a motto, it's a mission. That's why they're honoring Washington's community champions, the everyday heroes who strengthen our communities. Steve Rabel here with WSECU board member Marcus Glasper, and it's time to announce our next community champion.
Our community champion this week is Matthew Ballantyne in Lacey. Matthew builds beds for children in need through his organization, Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Thank you, Matthew, for providing more kids the benefits of a good night's sleep.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
It's a cold winter night and your furnace dies. Don't let this happen to you. If your system's 12 years or older, upgrade now to a Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning system from Home Comfort Alliance and stay warm. Visit homecomfortalliance.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The 32-year-old son of actor-director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer Reiner is charged with their murders and remains in custody with no bail. According to CBS's Anna Schechter,
first responders found his body after that 911 call that came in from their daughter. They responded to the scene, saw that they had multiple stab wounds, and then that's where the investigation began. By the end of the night, by midnight, they had already arrested Nick Reiner.
CBS's Jim Krasula has the latest on the deadly weekend shooting at an Ivy League school.
Authorities are again searching for the person seen in grainy video walking away from the Brown University shooting that killed 2 students and injured 9 others. An initial person of interest was released. Providence, Rhode Island Police Chief Oscar Perez.
Anybody in the public that has any info about this individual, we ask that you call our tip line.
The FBI is offering a reward of up to $50,000 for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the Brown University gunman. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
Officials ordered immediate evacuations in 3 South Seattle suburbs today after a levee failed following a week of heavy rain. According to this man,
I lived in Washington all my life. I lived in Auburn for 12 years and right kind of by the river and never seen it like this. It's kind of crazy, to be honest.
The evacuation order from King County in Washington state covered homes and businesses east of the Green River in parts of Kent, Auburn, and Tukwila. President Trump has filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the British Broadcasting Corporation. Attorneys for the president say the lawsuit accuses the BBC of publishing a false, defamatory, deceptive, disparaging, inflammatory, and malicious depiction of him in a documentary that aired before the 2024 election.
They actually put terrible words in my mouth having to do with January 6th that I didn't say.
Federal authorities say they've made arrests and busted up a planned attack targeting the Los Angeles area on New Year's Eve. CBS's Scott McFarland has more on those arrested.
Federal prosecutors say the 4 people they've arrested are part of an anti-government extremist group called the Turtle Island Liberation Front. They allege they busted the group while they were testing bomb-making equipment or would-be bombs in the Mojave Desert on Friday. And according to the investigators, the group was plotting New Year's Eve bombings near major commercial distribution centers in California.
In Boston, Brian Walsh has been found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of his wife, Anna, on New Year's Day in 2023. Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey.
We did hear from Anna's sister, and her comment was, justice has been served.
Walsh now faces a sentence of life in prison without parole. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Quite the scare this afternoon when a levee failed in Tukwila. We'll get to that after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
And this one brought to us by the Seattle Mariners. We've got ourselves an 11 to 12-mile solid backup stretching from the north end of Boeing Field all the way down to State Route 516. Seattle to Federal Way has improved a bit. We're down to an hour and a half now. Bellevue to South Center is still in a solid hour. Your backup starts in South Bellevue. It's a decent commute until you get down to the VMAC, and then from there it starts getting thick. Further south you go from there, the thicker it gets, all the way down to I-5 in South Center. Southbound 99 has scattered backups from SeaTac Airport down to State Route 516. State Route 509, scattered backups between South Park and downtown Des Moines. Westbound 18 is packed from Covington all the way down to Auburn Way South. These are all residual backups stemming from the State Route 167 backup between Renton and Auburn, and also a number of scattered road closures throughout our flood zone inside the Tukwila, Kent, Renton areas. This report brought to you by Seattle Mariners. This holiday season, give the gift of Mariners baseball. Grab tickets to next season's biggest games, like opening day on March 26th at mariners.com/tickets. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. A rare flash flood warning in Tukwila sent some people seeking higher ground today.
And I usually fish right here too, so it was kind of spooky, to be honest. I just didn't want to get stuck.
Crews quickly got that water stopped after the levee breached along the Green River. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay has more.
They had their eyes on the levee along Todd Road in Tukwila last week. They did repair work on it Friday, and they were on scene inspecting it moments before it failed.
It's not typical to have these levees have this much water behind them for this long.
John Taylor, director of King County's Department of Natural Resources and Parks, says they'll be monitoring a number of levees round the clock, many of which have been damaged over the past week and will need repairs when things calm down. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Sheriff's deputies are out with the warning if your home has been flooded. Looters may be looking to take advantage. KIRO 7 TV Samantha Lamibao reports some thieves came out in kayaks in Snohomish County.
Deputies say 2 family members took a boat out on Saturday afternoon to check on their property, see the damage, when they heard some voices. When they rounded the corner, they caught 5 young men in kayaks with spray paint in hand. Now, the owners say they confronted them and that group took off. They ended up finding their crane vandalized and one of their ropes stolen.
Deputies say those suspects were last seen along Highway 9 in Snohomish. Man accused of stabbing a Bellevue police officer in the face now faces felony assault charges. Casey McNerthany with the King County Prosecutor's Office says the suspect swung a knife at one officer and missed, but then hit another.
Had a laceration on his face that was at least 6 inches, according to investigators, and also had a dislocated right shoulder and a broken left clavicle.
Court documents say another officer fired, hitting 38-year-old Mohammed Bangura. Prosecutors allege he made a fake 911 call about a domestic violence incident, drawing those officers to the Bellevue Transit Center on Friday. Bangura is due in court on Thursday. Weather now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Breezy tonight with rain showers into the evening and then some more stronger winds expected later on tomorrow night. Right now looking at 59 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
I really mean this is serious because they're going to make you're going to be hard for you to believe.
Uh-oh. Thank you, former President Joe Biden.
Oh.
He was at the Eagles game the other day.
Really?
Yeah, down there. Still out there doing his thing. All right, here we go. Let's dive into the together. All right, so the where are we on the flash flood? So the Green River levee, it fails, and then they fixed it. So
they fixed, yes. The levee is fixed as far as we know. I don't think any more evacuations have been ordered. Aaron,
That is correct.
Okay.
No more
thank
evacuation
you.
orders. You got it, Joe. Good job.
Thank you.
As we figure that stuff out.
Yeah.
And you also reported you stole our thunder on the kayakers, right? 2 words you never expect to see in the same sentence. Looting kayak
Yeah, I
looters.
know. Can you believe that?
Yeah. I can see people looting kayaks, but not kayakers that are looting.
A popular golf course, multiple family farms are now completely underwater. And the sheriff's office tells me they've seen a lot of people out here in kayaks.
People are coming from all over the area just to take advantage of these people who can't get to their properties right now. And it's heartbreaking, you know?
Someone even climbed up on Riva and Michael's roof to take a picture of the history-making flood.
They had kayaks out here, but they were taking trucks and trailers down with boats with motors on them.
Deputies say looters navigated to flooded Franklin Farms, but thankfully all stolen property was recovered.
Oh, okay. Well, they got them back. How'd they get it back? How much property are you going to be able to steal on a kayak?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I guess they could have a dry bag, float it back with them.
Wow, Joe, don't give people any ideas. Thanks for that. Yeah. So, hey, kayaking looters or looting kayakers, whatever you want to be described, Joe's recommending a floating dry bag.
That's right. Maybe 2.
Yes. Okay, so this is a story. It came out, I think it was a week ago or something like that?
A week ago.
Yeah, King 5 did the story. They were talking about, let's see, it's right here. Okay, so Patty Murray was responding to this guy, Wilmer Martinez, who was arrested by ICE. And the K9 went in there, and here's Patty.
Relax. Can you pull him up? You need to back up. You need to back up.
So the guy Martinez is on the ground. There's a German Shepherd K9. He's there. That cop dog there. And apparently, the video starts where Martinez is on the ground. The dog is being held back, and
King 5 obtained this video of ICE agents arresting a Washington state man after their dog attacked him, causing multiple injuries. Now, U.S. Senator Patty Murray is demanding the man be released from ICE detention in Tacoma. Her office says the father of 3, who came to the U.S. at the age of 15, was mauled by the ICE dog in November, even though he was not resisting. This is King 5 News at 11.
How do you know that? How do you know he wasn't resisting? Who said that? So the cops just let the dog go on the guy? Where's the video starts where he's on the ground. So you don't see the dog biting the guy. Like, okay, I guess. Okay, so they get the guy, father of 3 or whatever, and they just let the dog go on the guy, and then the dog bites the guy. Okay, well, really? They just left it? He wasn't resisting? Whatever. There's your story.
I'm Joyce Taylor. Senator Murray says this all happened in front of his wife and his young kids. According to her office, the attorney for Wilmer Toledo Martinez says an ICE agent lured him out of his house, posing as a construction worker who claimed to have hit his car. That's when the family says another agent released a dog on him. And these are the injuries: gashes, open wounds, scrapes on his back, arms, and wrists. Murray says that he was denied medical care for hours, then taken to the ICE facility in Tacoma. She says he is undocumented but married to a U.S. citizen. We reached out to ICE and we still have not heard back.
Okay, so you always wonder, okay, that's one part of the story. Did he flee or not? Whatever the reason. So I try to find out, does the guy have, because then his attorney was on KUOW, and Libby Dykeman said,
Can I ask, does Wilmer have a criminal history?
I mean, can I ask? Of course you're going to ask. Does he have a criminal history?
Because we've heard that this operation, the escalation of immigration enforcement under the second Trump administration, is about targeting people who are dangerous to their community. So people with serious criminal records. Does Wilmer have a criminal history?
Wilmer was arrested in 2018 for a misdemeanor. That's the extent of his criminal history. He has no convictions as of today.
So I'm trying to find, so there's a lot of confusion online as to who this guy is. Is this the same guy that was other stuff? And I've tried to track it down. 2018, arrested in Oregon, this is the same guy, on charges, misdemeanor for unlawful firearm possession. Other sources mentioned potential charges of heroin delivery and theft. His attorney confirmed the arrest was a misdemeanor, but states that the case was later dismissed and he was never convicted of any crime. I don't know if it's the same guy that came into the country in 2006. They said to deport him. Then he came back into the country again. Can't quite tell, but it's the same guy. ICE needs to do a better job. The federal government needs a better job of getting ahead of these stories, or at least giving their part of it. Because you'll get the one side. And in recent polls, this is from November 2025, 53% of Americans do not approve of what ICE is doing. And 39% approve. Well, if you watch the news, you get that. You never get the other part. And you get the Seattle Times doing stories. Oh, we should feel so sorry for this person or that person, that person. Yeah, but like, what's the other part of it? When you go to the ICE website, they don't clearly line up. We got this guy. This is why we got this guy. These are the charges against him. This is the stuff. And get him out of here. But they don't. All those are delayed. So what you do is you get stories of King 5. You see the guy on the ground, the dog held up the side. Show you pictures of the cuts and scrapes from the dog, and then say that he didn't. And then you hear only from the lawyer side, he didn't get any medical attention, and you're getting Patty Murray saying, please release him. They did a better job of giving you both sides of the story to see what the deal is. But
Do you think they should have body cam
on the ICE
on the ICE guys? Yeah.
Well, somebody had a camera on it. I don't think the ICE guys have the body cams.
They don't have. No, they don't. In fact, the lawyer in that same interview, she said, "Well, these guys don't have body cams, so we can't ask for this footage. We don't know what happened." You know, there's all these
put the body
questions.
cameras. I think some of these guys are overly aggressive. I don't know how much training's going into it. You know, when they put up a billboard, "Hey, come join ICE," you might get guys that are a little too gung ho on it, and you don't have the oversight that you have. And sometimes too much oversight, I think, when you have people have a natural bias against police that are on oversight committees, they can see all sorts of things that may or may not be actually happening in real life. But, you know, just, again, look at both sides, get all the details on the thing. Is this the same guy that came into the country, left, get deported, then went back, snuck back in again? Did he go to Honduras? If they got a better job of getting the rest of it out there, then you'd be able to go, okay, well, that's why they're going and getting this guy. But you always see how it's presented in the media is, you know, immigration enforcement. That, you know, everybody that I've seen in the media is just a victim of the horrible Trump Gestapo that is out there, you know, violating all these people's rights. And the president doesn't do himself any favors when he was asked about the passing of Rob Reiner. Yeesh, gads. So Rob Reiner hates Donald Trump, has always hated Donald Trump, refers to him as a Nazi, says he's a fascist and he's authoritarian. And he was always out there on Instagram talking about how much Donald Trump is a threat to everybody. So Trump, of course, takes that personally, as you would if somebody were saying horrible things about you. And you think, well, why can't you rise above it? And why can't you better? And that's not who Donald Trump is, never claimed to be. You know, that's one of the reasons people elected him, because they're like, yeah, go get those people that went after you. So you go after them. We want to see tit for tat. You can't have that sort of stuff, but it's not going to be Trump that's going to all of a sudden rise above because they did it to him. As far as he's concerned, I'm going to do it to you. And now we get into, you know, ignoring the Constitution, and then you get lawfare. So when Trump is asked about the passing of Rob Reiner, we now know, pretty sure they brought the son in. They're holding him for $4 million bail. They are charging him with the murder of both Rob Reiner and Rob Reiner's wife, which I assume is also his son. Is it the guy's name Charlie? Is his son's name Charlie?
I think it was Nick.
Nick, that's right. Yeah. Yes, Nick. Right. Apparently, there was a fight that occurred between the two. There was a lot of screaming and yelling at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party at his house. Don't have any more information other than that, but other than the fact that Rob Reiner murdered in his home, his wife as well, and they're holding the son as the prime suspect in this sort of thing. Do we have Trump sound?
Well, yeah. So there's his post that went out this morning, which, you want me to read it?
Yeah, what did he say?
He said, a very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away together with his wife, Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, incurable affliction with the mind-crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsessions over President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness, and with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. Oof. May Rob and Michelle rest in peace.
Oh, my God.
And he was catching flack from all sides just for why say anything at that point? But he was asked about it in the White House today, and that's the clip that you have there.
Oh, let's see. Okay. Kayak looters.
Here, I'll hit it for you.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Mr. President, a number of Republicans have denounced your statement on Truth Social after the murder of Rob Reiner. Do you stand by that post?
Well, I wasn't a fan of his at all. He was a deranged person as far as Trump is concerned. He said he knew it was false. In fact, it's the exact opposite, that I was a friend of Russia, controlled by Russia. You know, it was the Russia hoax. He was one of the people behind it. I think he hurt himself in career-wise. So he became like a deranged person, Trump derangement syndrome. So I was not a fan of Rob Reiner at all in any way, shape, or form. I thought he was very bad for our country, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. I am not in any way defending. I'm going to try to explain as best I can why you get somebody with the reactions that you get. Donald Trump spends a lot of time online, reading Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. He sees it all. So from 2015, when he says, I'm going to run for president, and then people mock him. And when Obama was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, the joke while Trump is sitting there just bashing. I mean, people just came in there and bashed him. So just for a moment, even if you hate him, just for a moment, imagine being a guy deciding you want to run for president and everyone mocks you, right? And these comedians are taking shots at you constantly about you. Go ahead, please run and be the greatest thing because you're such an idiot and we'd love to make fun of you, right? So you get that, and then you get them making up, the FBI making up with hurricane bull stuff and the Russian, and then every time you turn on television, he watches a lot of TV, and it's Russia, the collusion, that sort of stuff happens, and then then they go after him and they try to take him off the ballot in Colorado, maybe off the ballot in other states as well, and then you get all these, charges brought up against him, and 35 indictments or whatever, and each one of the indictments was actually an invoice. That's where that came from. And then, he's a rapist, but he's not a rapist. Just think for a moment. Imagine if you spent all day online, and again, I am not excusing the behavior. I wish he could rise above, and I wish he could be a stronger, better man for it, but I just don't think you're going to get somebody like that is going to be able to spend all day. Imagine if you were a public person, just for a moment, and everything you read online from so many people coming after you, right or wrong, whatever it is, and then I don't think most of us would be able to show grace. I just don't think you would be able to do that. Most people can't. When you get injured like that personally, people will hold stuff against somebody. There's a case where this kid was really mean in high school. A couple of years later, this kid that was bullied by this other kid still holds resentment against the person. And when this kid was told, hey, this person really has a problem with you. Well, that was 4 years ago. Yeah, you need to apologize to this individual because you treated them poorly. But when somebody treats you poorly, you hold on to it. And it metastasizes and eats you up, right? But if every day you went online and every day you were just people were making stuff up about you that was or wasn't true or is not true or half true, and you're just getting attacked on all sides, I don't know how most of us would respond to something like that. Again, not excusing the behavior. I just think it's outside of his wheelhouse to be able to not want to also inflict the same pain on his enemies, and he has a lot of them, that they've inflicted on him. Most of these people, if you read any American history, you'll see that those presidents, no matter who it is, Nixon, or you could even Truman, you go all the FDR, what FDR did to the press and what did to his enemies, Wilson, what Wilson was doing, they have giant egos. You got to have a giant ego to run for president in the first place. And those giant egos are an easy target, and you can poke at them at a bunch of different things, and you're going to get a response. Whether it was Nixon's, secret list to go after with the taxes, or whether Obama going after Trump, or whoever it is. This is part of the game that they're in, and you're not going to get somebody that's going to. It's not Mother Teresa in there. These aren't saints that are getting elected to these spots, and this is what you get. Bad move on his part. To rise above it would have not have been in his DNA. So you can expect more of this. And unfortunately, the Overton window moves. And what will the next president be like? And will the next public discourse of any topic be like? What will America be dealing with? Once you lower the bar keeps going lower and lower. This is what you end up with. So I don't know how the next group of people will end up that are running for this office will, once Trump has sort of set the standard of how we will talk about one another and talk about the news, would people get used to it.
You think other presidents would have said the same thing, though?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. But I don't think other presidents, the speed in which this stuff happens. No, but I don't think. Would others be able to rise above that and not take that personal shot at him? This is Trump.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
You're right. No, thank you. No. How about traffic?
Okay. Here you go.
Thank you.
Seattle Sports has the update. Hey, our only blocking issue is a disabled bus North 5 and Northeast 175th in the HOV lane and Shoreline. You're backed up to 130th, but that is by far the biggest backups. Seattle to Federal Way is taking an hour and a half with a solid backup from mid-Boeing Field all the way to State Route 516. Bellevue to South Center, we've improved. Still a 50-minute drive, though. You're going to start to slow near the VMAC, and then it gets thick in the S-curves all the way to I-5. Southbound 99 scattered backups between SeaTac Airport into Federal Way. Westbound 18 still jam-packed from Covington all the way to Auburn Way South. Tacoma to Olympia plan on 55 minutes. Now you're slowing South Tacoma. Just a minor backup through JBLM. More slowing heading into Olympia. Both directions of I-5 through downtown Seattle looking great. Just minimal slowing, and both of our lake bridges are all clear. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
I've said it before, but I think it bears repeating. The best Christmas gift you can give the people that love you is probably more of you. And that means you're going to have a longer life. That means you will be around. So you'll see many, many more holidays with the people that you love. Maybe if you think back at Thanksgiving, if you sat back at the table for a minute and you thought, God, my grandkids are here and there's my kids and God, I just love my life. Wouldn't it be horrible if something like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer took you out of the picture much sooner than you expected? And how would you be able to catch those things? Well, if you were a patient of Longevity Medical Clinic and 4 times a year you get a blood draw, and then you get a chance to get on your phone or sit down in person with your doctor for an hour, and they go through it. And it's about 55 different indicators that they're looking for. They're looking for heart disease, diabetes, and cancer because every one of these horrible diseases leave little teeny tiny signs that they're starting to develop. And that's where Longevity is proactive. They get in there, see the problem, stop the problem, reverse the problem, stop the problem. You want to find out more? Here's a Christmas gift you give to everybody who loves you. Take the free health analysis at LongevityMedicalClinic.com, LongevityMedicalClinic.com.
When extreme weather hits Western Washington,
a flash flood warning after a critical levee breaks along.
KIRO News Radio is the first place you turn.
We have team coverage this morning.
Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Which communities are hit hardest?
Skagit River again going to flood to major levels.
What it means for your commute.
Northbound 167 underwater.
MyNorthwest.com and KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM and the KIRO News Radio app.
So Pure Talk just had their best year ever and asked me if I'd like to thank their customers on their behalf for being so awesome. I said sure. It's important to say thanks, especially this time of year, which is why, as one of their many satisfied customers, I should probably thank Pure Talk first for keeping their customer service in this country and for providing hundreds of American jobs. I appreciate that. I also appreciate their Roundup program, which makes it easy to support America's Warrior Partnership and join the fight against veteran suicide. And I love that Pure Talk donated 1,000 hand-sewn Made in America flags to veterans around Independence Day. And of course, I really appreciate their generous support of my own foundation, MicroWorks, and their commitment to help us train the next generation of skilled workers. Having said all that, it's now my pleasure, on behalf of everyone at Pure Talk, to thank you sincerely for choosing to do business with an American wireless company that actually stands for something. And one more thing. Merry Christmas.
Hey, it's John Curley. If you're having joint pain, this will interest you. This Wednesday night at 6, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen really good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, one of the most experienced in the country with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go pain-free in 2026. Join his free live stem cell webinar this Wednesday night at 6. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
When extreme weather hits Western Washington,
A flash flood warning after a critical levee breaks along.
KIRO Newsradio is the first place you turn.
We have team coverage this morning.
Live in Auburn, James Lynch, KIRO Newsradio.
Which communities are hit hardest?
Skagit River again going to flood to major levels.
What it means for your commute.
Northbound 167 underwater.
MyNorthwest.com and KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM and the KIRO Newsradio app.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Gordillo. Some businesses in Tukwila today saw floodwaters entering their parking lots as a levee breached along the Green River. King County Executive Gurmai Zahalai.
Although this was sudden and caused widespread concern, fortunately no one was injured.
And King County crews moved fast to contain the floodwaters. John Taylor is the director of the county's Natural Resources and Parks. Says they done some repairs on that levee last Friday and were inspecting it today when it failed.
We are monitoring a number of areas on all of the levees right now where we know there could be issues. And we're going to try to stay ahead of it so we don't have breaches.
And new this hour, the National Weather Service has just canceled its flash flood warning for that area. U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is reducing water flow from the Howard Hansen Dam to ease flooding along the Green River. Auburn Mayor Nancy Backus explains to Jake and Spike why they have to release any water at all.
It's to reduce the water behind the dam so that there is no failure of the dam, which would be even more of a catastrophe.
And now to Skagit County, where a brief weekend break from the rain did little for flood victims. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey has more.
Skagit County now under a flood watch through Thursday. Here in Burlington, Rico and his family are ready to leave again like they had to last week when the Skagit River flooded the Gages Slough and dozens of homes.
We actually did evacuate on Friday, but then we came back on Saturday.
In the background, you can hear crews pumping water from the Gages Slough to get ready for more rain. In Burlington, Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
All this rain means the West is starting winter with a snow drought. Dan McAvoy is a researcher with the Western Regional Climate Center and says they've never seen snowpack this low since record keeping began in 2001.
What that really says is that
this is a very slow start to the snow season in the western U.S. as a whole. But because it's early, there is still time to catch up.
Across the Cascades, most basins are under 50% of snowpack after record-setting warmth in November. Let's go now to the real-time traffic desk coming up on 5:33. Here's Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Aaron. The Emerald Queen Casino's got the update. Our only blocking issue, again, is this disabled bus North 5 at 175th and Shoreline. It's in the HOV lane, and you're backed up now, bumper to Northgate. So Seattle to Linwood, we're up to 35 minutes. It's only another 10 minutes if you're continuing into Everett. Bellevue to Everett also looking good. Only 35 minutes. It's just minor crowding between Totem Lake and Canyon Park. Once you get into Everett, North 5 slows from the Boeing Freeway to Highway 2. Seattle to Federal Way, slowly improving. We're at an hour and 20-minute commute now. Still solid from mid-Boeing Field down to State Route 516. Bellevue to South Center, 45 minutes. You're all good until you reach the Renton S-curves, where it's packed all the way to I-5. Westbound 18 remains packed from Covington down to Auburn Way South. Tacoma to Olympia, 55-minute drive. You've got 3 backups here. South Tacoma, a little bit in JBLM, and then more slowing heading into downtown Olympia. Live professional boxing is back with the main event February 6th at the Emerald Queen Casino. The main event powered by WFC February 6th, only at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. Your forecast now brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Breezy with rain showers tonight. We do have a wind advisory in effect until about 10 o'clock tonight. And then another one ramps up tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll see gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour. Right now, 54 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granello, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
All right, Teeny, if you'd be so kind to... Teeny's on the ground. Joe.
What?
She's been sitting the whole show on the ground.
No.
Yes.
Surely not. She must have just jumped down.
I don't know how it happened. Teeny, I'm very sorry. Can you please spin the wheel from the ground? Oh, my gosh. Going round and round. She's not saying anything. She must be upset with us. It lands on... Aaron took his name off. Oh, okay. Wyatt, do you happen to have a Wilcox Family Farm eggs recipe?
I do. So I'm gonna follow me here.
Yeah, let me go.
I'm gonna pack a bag with nothing but 2 Wilcox Family Farm eggs.
Nice.
I'm gonna buy a plane ticket to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm gonna eat those eggs in a glass, nothing else, and then I'm gonna run up all 72 stairs of the Philadelphia Museum of Art like Rocky Balboa.
Wow.
And when they asked me how I did it, they said the power of Wilcox Family Farm eggs.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. There you go. There you go. Whoa. Wow. A pop cultural reference. You got a city. You get
Travel.
There's 2 eggs.
A motivational quote at the end.
My God.
Where's Andrew? He needs to hear this.
That is amazing.
Nice.
That's all going to be in the book.
Yes, in my memoir, and however long I write it.
Right. Well, not only your memoir, but then also, there can also a little foreshadowing there. They'll be able to read it in the Wilcox Family Farm Eggs recipe book.
It's an expensive recipe, though, because you got to get a plane ticket for that one.
Sometimes you got to invest.
You got to, you're going to run up.
I got to invest in myself.
That's right.
All 72 steps.
All 72 steps.
You do the thing at the top there.
Yeah, just arms up, ready to go.
Yeah, got it. Wow. It's there. Wow. Amazing. The thing.
Awesome, Wyatt.
Thank you for that.
Well done.
Tim, well done. Yeah,
thank you.
Wow.
By the way,
setting the bar high. Yes.
The problem is we can't see Teeny on the screen anymore. So if she sneaks away, we don't even notice.
Okay, Joe, she snuck away. We forgot to put her up there. But we take her down and put her up because we don't people the next show comes in or the morning show like kicking them off to the side. Yeah. It's a fragile. She's in there. She's fragile. By the way, speaking of Wilcox, thank you very much, Wilcox Family Farms, donating 1 million eggs to local food banks for the holiday season. That's nice. Good for those guys. Nicely done. I saw this piece in the Wall Street Journal saying that now, it used to be back in, 2019, if you're at Spotify, by the holidays, beginning of the holidays, there were 14 holiday songs in the top 50, so they would slide in 14. Now, it's about 20 out of 25 songs are going to be holiday songs. The Wall Street Journal basically says these things are cash cows for the performers. They don't have to be great songs. Nobody judges in the way they judge normal songs. And you just throw out a holiday song. You throw, a Christmas song in there, and, everybody's better for it. And Spotify says, it just puts people in the good mood. People don't necessarily complain about it. How much does Mariah Carey make?
Oh.
Here she is. Hang on.
Carey's Christmas song is an incredible money machine.
Yes.
She's going to make $2.5 to $3 million from it every Christmas season.
Oh.
The song has brought in more than $100 million total royalties since its 1994 release.
Wow.
Got that? Carrie's also a co-writer of the song, so she earns a lot of that money, too. You know, it has several Guinness World Records, including highest holiday song on the Billboard chart by a solo artist and the most streamed track on Spotify in 24 hours by a female. Okay?
Who gets the feeling this anchor is reading this for the first time?
Beyond the music, Mariah Carey's brand, of course, brings in cash from holiday merchandise and products tied to her image, the sweaters, the ornaments, the gift sets, and on and on. But as for the song, it has been licensed into advertising, into movies, and even in video games. And all of that is money into Mariah's purse, $3 million every Christmas season.
And now, without further ado, do you have it?
You want the Netflix movie or the Mariah?
Mariah
song?
Carey.
Okay, I got that.
Give her a little bit more money. This is in every movie, too, now.
It's an original, too.
Look at why.
Nice.
Okay. I don't watch many movies, but if you got Netflix, I'm going to highly recommend you watch this one. You ready? It's called My Secret Santa. And here's the dilemma in the movie. The woman gets fired from the cookie factory where she works. And then she needs $2,000 to send her kid to snowboard camp. But where's she going to get the money? She happens to notice that if you're an employee of Sun Peaks, which is an actual place there in Canada, it's a little resort, kind of cool. We went there with the kids once. If you go there, if you're an employee of Sun Peaks, then it's only $1,000. But she has to get a job at Sun Peaks. Well, where's she going to get a job? Well, she happens to hear that they've fired the Santa, so they need a new Santa. So then she goes to her brother and his husband, who happen to also be like, I don't know, designers or
like
something.
Film prosthetic creators.
Designers are there in Sun Peaks, and they do this sort of Mission Impossible thing where they analyze her face, and then they make a Santa Claus costume for her. They fill her stomach, this big bodysuit she has to wear with lentil beans. That's going to be a little foreshadowing what's going to happen there. It is the most ridiculous movie you can watch this holiday season. And here's a little clip from Netflix.
You guys, I have an idea.
Okay, let me understand this. You want us to make you into an old man so you can get a job as Santa Claus at the ski resort to get your daughter half-price snowboard lessons.
Yes.
Let's see it. Merry Christmas to all. And to all a good night.
Hey, I was wondering if you could help me out with something. Maybe you know a place to get a good cup of hot chocolate?
Does this sort of thing usually work for you?
All the time.
My life is kind of a balancing act right now.
Okay, so the guy that asked about the hot chocolate ends up falling in love with her. So she sorts of, eventually fall for him. But the problem is he's also the general manager now of Sun Peaks. And he doesn't know that when she's dressed as Santa, that's her, right? But he has this weird, falling in love with Santa.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I'm just not dating.
Got it.
Don't be fooled by this Netflix preview. You're missing all the good stuff because it's so bad.
It is so bad.
It's so bad. It's great.
It's time for Santa to be the reindeer. Pardon me.
Oh, yeah, because in the end, guess what has to happen? She has to switch between Santa and herself. She has to keep running back and forth and get back into the costume. But then at a certain point, for some reason, I don't know why, this woman that works at Sun Peaks decides she's going to she does some research on the internet and finds out that the woman dressed as Santa is actually this other woman. So in front of everybody, she calls out Santa in front of all the kids and everything, even though she works at Sun Peaks.
Alert.
Yeah, I don't care. You got to watch it. It is so horrible, it then transfers over to what a great movie. It's so bad.
It is so, but you're right. It is spectacularly bad.
Yes.
But my wife, she put it on. She's like, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need.
It's
like,
called My Secret Santa.
Yeah.
You need to watch it. You need to be slightly inebriated in some way, whichever you want, as long as you weren't driving or operating heavy equipment. Sit down there and just really take on the full My Secret Santa.
Don't play plot hole games. Just suspend disbelief.
Go with
just
it.
Ride
Go,
it.
And boy, at the end, this guy gives this speech about, well, Christmas is not just about a person. It's, oh my God, it is so wonderful. Oh, it's so amazing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the $1,000 she saved, I mean, the prosthetics must have cost $10,000.
Oh, but her brother and his
right.
husband were like,
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's horrible. I can't believe your wife watched it.
I can't believe of all the movies, you don't watch any movies. But somehow you saw that one.
No, that's the rule. If you want to watch one of those Christmas movies, we got to have a little something on board, if you know what I mean.
I see. I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying
All right.
there.
All right.
Okay. Nate's checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, in Shoreline, we cleared that disabled bus North 5 at 175th. That backup still starts in Northgate. Seattle to Linwood, right around a half hour. That drive through downtown Seattle looks great from both directions. South 5, little crowding through the downtown core, but North 5 is cleared out. Seattle to Federal Way, we're down an hour, 15-minute commute. Still solid from Mid-Boeing Field to State Route 516. Bellevue to South Center is down to a half hour. We're all clear now until you hit State Route 167. From there, it's packed all the way over to I-5. Westbound 18 is still heavy from State Route 516 in Covington down past Auburn Way South. We're down to a 5-mile backup now, and Tacoma to Olympia has improved to a 45-minute drive. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, you're prepping for winter, right? Maybe get the car ready to go, change over snow tires, and you do all the stuff you're supposed to do because you just don't want to be caught flat-footed, especially if something happens you weren't expecting during the holiday season or during the winter season. So let's give you a bad scenario. You wake up in the morning and it's freezing in the house, and you're like, well, something's wrong. Go check the thermostat, and that's out of service because maybe it's 10 years or older, and it's been running the whole time, and now all of a sudden, you're done. The house is freezing cold. You start searching around, go to Google, you're like, first thing pops up, we got to get somebody to come here and help you. I can tell you right now, have Home Comfort Alliance on speed dial. Have a little piece of paper somewhere, put them in your phone, because these guys, when they come to the house to be able to fix the problem, heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical needs, any of that stuff, you can know that you're being treated well. Because a lot of these other places come in, they realize, oh, you're going to sell them this or sell them that. Home Comfort Alliance comes into your house, and they do the work that needs to be done to get you the heating that you need, the comfort that you need. It's right there in their name. It's Home Comfort Alliance. That's homecomfortalliance.com.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Every season is a little bit different here in Washington, but I'll tell you what, the amount of rain never seems to change in the winter, and we have sure gotten a ton of it this season. All that rain, all that water, it's all got to go somewhere. And if it makes its way into your crawl space, that's when it can create all sorts of problems, including real structural damage, which could really affect your home. But more importantly, for the health of your family, the water in that crawl space could create toxic mold, and that has serious health repercussions. Thankfully, we have Crawl Pros. They can come in and keep your crawl space dry, install a sump pump and drainage, and reroute that water back out and away from your home. They'll also take care of any mold that may have been created. Don't take the risk. It's too important. The best way to learn if you have any water is to ask Crawl Pros to visit your home and inspect your crawl space for free. Crawl Pros will go where you don't want to. So if you're worried about water damage, mold, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Hey, it's Jason Rance. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Pendergast Law.
Okay, anybody going to sing or no time?
Yes, we got time.
Okay, here comes it. Who's
Hudson,
thank you.
I'm the mailman to be messing with me.
No.
I'm the mailman. Everything new. I'm the mailman. Bring the mail to you.
Okay, we should probably. How old is Hudson now? Like 20?
No. I think he's 10, maybe.
She's like, God, they still playing that? Yeah. All right, we'll get the letter of the day. First, take care of all the rest. Joe?
Tara in Mill Creek on My Secret Santa says, it's a Hallmark movie. It's a Hallmark Christmas movie meets Mrs. Doubtfire. There are no new ideas anymore. Womp womp.
Oh, come on, Tara. Have you seen it? Have you seen My Secret Santa?
Mm.
The dialogue is horrible, and the monologues are just the worst. Kip in Lake Bay says, Shades of Mrs. Doubtfire, from your audio play, the main character is no Robin Williams. Don't worry about it. Stop comparing. Just go with it.
Yeah, just go with it.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip Charlie because I have him as letter of the day and go right to 425, who says the flying car wait list costs less than the Seahawks Blue Pride list.
Okay. Foo Fighters, Sonic Highways, HBO series featuring Zach Brown and Nashville episode. Very cool, except for Foo Fighters' terrible song at the end. Highly recommend it. Okay, thank you for that.
Hee-haw Aaron says, I know you're talking about stem cell regeneration, but I always thought bone on bone meant something totally different. Hee-haw.
Okay. Trump and Rob Reiner. Tiffany and Puyallup says, pretty simple. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Yes, too bad. That seems below the office of presidents. presidency makes me sad. Yeah.
You could take the next one, too.
Oh, okay. 360 says, when is somebody going to tell Donald Trump to keep his mouth shut?
206 says, so gross to hear Curley stick up for that miserable embarrassment. Although you said specifically you weren't sticking up for him. 47's statement was disrespectful and disgusting and should not be defended. It rings boys will be boys, inexcusable.
Okay, I'm with you on that one. Gina says, what Trump said is beyond appalling. No excuse for him saying that kind of trash.
Chris in Marysville says, here's an idea. How about Trump worries about our economy and stops reading stories about himself on the internet?
Linda 206 says, thanks for perspective. I appreciate your analysis. Oh, and calls it wisdom discussing the news. Well, thank you, Linda.
She appreciated the perspective.
Yeah, again, I'm not in all way excusing it.
And I'm
just trying to analyze it.
You've repeatedly said, I'm not excusing it.
No, I think it's horrible. Anyway. Okay.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Thank you, Teeny. Thank you.
Charlie on a beach in Seattle. This is back to your flying car obsession. He says, John, people are banging into each other all in the streets all day long. Yeah. There's thousands of accidents annually.
Yes.
What makes you think when you let people go in the air with pretty much no stop signs that this is somehow going to work out good? I love the Jetson theory, but come on, man, it's not practical.
Yeah. They all laughed at Wilbur and his brother when he said the man could fly. All right.
That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote.
Come on now.
No more.
We have all sorts of fancy electronic stuff. Who's not going to get near each other?
Autopilot.
Wait and see. Yeah, here comes Nate checking traffic for everybody else on the ground in their cars.
Seattle, yes, sir. Seattle to Federal Way. We're down to an hour, 10 minutes. That is still a lengthy drive time, and we're solid from the Boeing Access Road to State Route 516. Just heavy volume here. Bellevue to South Center at a half hour. This is all clear until you hit about the Valley Freeway, State Route 167, where it remains bumper to bumper over to I-5. Now, westbound 18 is still bumper to bumper from State Route 516 in Covington down to Auburn Way South, about a 5-mile backup here. Tacoma to Olympia, we're down to 45 minutes. North 5 remains packed through Northgate. Seattle to Linwood taking a half hour. And both directions of State Route 167 remain closed from South 212th down to 15th Avenue Northwest due to flooding. No estimated time to reopen. KIRO Newsradio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate. If you are over the age of 50 and you don't want to wear readers or glasses or have contacts anymore, concerned about cataracts, you got to check out K2 Vision RLE. RLE stands for Refractive Lens Exchange. And K2 Vision is really the only place to have this done. When you meet Dr. Kopstein, the other doctors that are there, they've done more than 100,000 of these procedures, so you know you're in good hands with experienced doctors. And here's what happened for me. They said, Dr. Kopstein takes a look at my eyes, and before he even put that thing in front of me, he goes, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to do this. I won't do this unless you're going to have great results. I might tell you to come back 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. I said, no, I don't want to work. I got a whole box of glasses, pair to read at night, when driving at night, pair to, up close, everything, just glasses everywhere. He says, take a look. He looks at me and goes, you're pretty ill, cataract in your right eye, and your eyes are in pretty bad shape. Sign me up, I said. I did. Got the procedure done. 5 minutes, one eye, 5 on the other. Go back in. 2 days later, I got 20/20 vision. Here it is again, K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. When you start thinking seriously about retirement, it sneaks up on you. One day, you're planning kids' activities. The next, you're thinking about Social Security, travel plans, and maybe grandkids. You can't just hope your savings will stretch. You need a plan that actually fits your life. And that's where Trajan Wealth comes in. Hi, this is Ursula Reutin. At Trajan Wealth, you are working with fiduciary advisors, which means they're not selling you products. They're acting in your best interest. And let me tell you, you can feel the difference. Trajan is veteran-owned and family-run. I love that. They specialize in helping people with $500,000 or more in savings to protect and grow what you've worked so hard to achieve. Call Trajan Wealth today at 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Or go to TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean. And there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
She and Ursula, weekdays from 9 to noon on KIRO News Radio.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I was able to achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You'll feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. I'm surprised and relieved every time I look in the mirror. You need to know what that feels like. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I would trust more than Advanced Hair Restoration. I experienced their exceptional standard of care firsthand. Your comfort and your results are the top priority of the entire Advanced Hair team. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 425-449-8185. That's 425-449-8185. Discover what meeting your resolutions could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Your best source for local news, KIRO